Hello, everyone. Welcome to the New Companions. This is an ESO podcast that happens every 2 weeks. We did have a week off last week because I didn't realise that it was Mother's Day, because Mother's Day is not celebrated on this day in the UK. So I didn't realise. We didn't. I just thought, just another day. That would be good. And it was definitely worth it because we've got 3 very awesome creators with us today. And I'm just going to introduce them to you very, very quickly. Coco, hello. How are you today? Are you well?
Hi, I'm doing fantastic.
Awesome. What do you do? What do you create? What do you do? You on YouTube or Twitch or?
I'm a Twitch streamer for fun currently, though I have plans. But pretty much I just build my houses, do things to build the houses, and otherwise I'm just running around town and trying to do errands and stuff.
Okay, fair enough. And then we've got Loonaromi as well. Did I say, is it Loonaromi?
I say Loonaromi.
Loonaromi, okay, cool. Okay,
Yeah.
that's right. So what do you do? What do you do on your YouTube, Twitch, or?
I stream on Twitch like 4 days a week, and mainly ESO, obviously, because everybody loves ESO.
There you go. And it's all the housing things and bits and pieces, or is it just generally everything, or?
It's kind of a bit of a mixture. I do a lot of housing and get very easily distracted by it, and I also do a lot of PvP and some PvE.
There we go. And then we have, last but not least, of course, NinjaMonkey0169. That's mainly for all you people listening on Spotify and iTunes and whatnot. So make sure you guys go and follow everyone. There will be something in the description telling you where you can go Twitch-wise to follow all these guys. How are you doing today, Ninja? You good?
Very, very well, very well. Thank you for asking. Hey, Maddie Gone.
So what do? You use Twitch, YouTube? What?
I Twitch 7 days a week, primarily the Elder Scrolls Online. We've been playing a lot of marbles on stream. I do have a YouTube presence and a Twitter presence, and all 3 are at NinjaMonkey0169. I was lucky enough to secure that tag across all platforms and servers.
Nice, awesome. Yes, don't do what I do, people. I changed that, so that's good. First lesson. That is very true. Try and get your name off on the same thing. Even if it's, I don't know, I couldn't think of a random name off the top of my head just then. That's weird. It could have been anything. Table leg 7487, I don't know, whatever. Make sure that's like Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, everything. Table leg 7487. Okay.
Soliloquy G2G was one of my favorites.
Oh, there you go. Okay, yeah. That makes sense. Okay. That's good. It's going to be a good podcast today. I'm looking forward to this. It is. everyone laughs awkwardly. Oh, it's going to be fine. But yes, we're here talking about housing. Housing is something that, I've been playing the game now for a year, and it's something that I haven't invested too much time in myself. It's something I'm very aware, though, of as a guild leader, as a community leader, because it have to be. Because obviously people want to, get involved with that and enjoy that. Content, but these 3 guys now, they know a lot about housing, which is why they're here. So I'm going to kind of been asking them questions about the things, kind of posing questions to them, maybe things we could change about certain areas. We're going to talk about specifics. We're going to talk about crafting in relation to housing as well, and all the things. So just to confirm with you guys right now, and this is kind of just a general question, like whoever can pop in for this one. At the moment, I found that there's 40 plus ish houses available. Is that correct, or is that wrong?
Yeah, I think there's 44. Yeah.
Yeah.
44.
Yep.
And that's all including all DLCs.
I think that's just the ones that are.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like on the store and everything completely.
Yeah.
Including the new one.
Let's not mislead people. If you get the DLC, that doesn't mean you automatically get the house.
Yeah, of course.
No.
Yeah.
That will be a separate and expensive purchase.
We'll get onto that. That's exactly one thing. Yeah, we've all got our individual things. I'm kind of feel like sometimes I need to post like a screenshot of all of us looking awesome as the main thing, as like the thumbnail for each show.
Were we supposed to look awesome for this? Hold on, I'll go
I'll just go.
Nothing I can do now will help.
It's fine.
Okay.
If you do want to,
Just
this
how
is on YouTube and everything as well, so people will see you. It's fine. And then we've got the apartment, the small house, the medium house, the large house, and the manor. And that's all the different kinds of houses. So the reason I'm saying these things is because we have a multitude of different people that listen and watch and, you know, come in. There's new players that, you know, are in my stream, and there's new players that are just going to be playing the games elsewhere. It's coming out obviously on Monday. This podcast is actually on the 19th of May. Elsewhere actually comes out on the 20th of May on PC. So we're actually speaking a day before release of that chapter.
Pre-release.
Pre-release, yeah. That's very true. That's very true. That's a fun
Prepaid beta testing. How about that?
Yeah, I don't know what to call it. In all honesty, it's a bit odd. Okay, so generally housing is pretty fun. It's pretty involved. It's not something that was with launch though, and is only about 2 years old.
Yep, February 2017.
Yeah. I mean, were you guys playing ESO before housing came in?
Yeah, since late beta for me.
Yep, ditto. Beta monkey confirmed. Which, by the way, housing's the only reason I'm still playing ESO. A lot of my friends were taking a break around that time. Right. And I was about to wander away myself.
Same.
Wow. Okay, so housing actually brought you all to, well, it got you to stay in the game. Coco, is it the same for you, or you would just be playing still anyway, or?
I was getting really burned out because at that time I barely did any group content because this was my first MMO, so I was really anxious about playing with people, and I had a couple of really bad experiences. So then they announced housing, and I was like, oh, finally, thank God. Otherwise, I probably would have gone back to The Sims.
Yeah, something I can go solo. Very similar story for me. Yeah.
Right. And you said this is your first MMO as well. So that's very interesting because loads of people who come on the show have literally said that it's their first MMO. ESO is their first MMO. Loads of people say that, actually. People in the chat who come into my stream, they say ESO is their first MMO. And I'm like, what? Really? like there's so many out there, like why was it and people have stayed, so there's something about ESO for new players as well, maybe, that is so inviting and so awesome. So that's actually quite nice.
A lot of us just played Elder Scrolls games, and so we're like, well, it's online, and I have at least this is the case for me and some of the friends I know, we have social anxiety, but we thought we'd try it out, and for me it stuck for like obviously a very long time.
Right. Okay. So actually, yeah, that's a big thing. So going from the single player experience to the multiplayer experience, and then coming onto a podcast in front of people and being heard by people as well. So yeah, I'm just going to increase that more, just a little bit more.
So the interesting thought to add on to that is, again, same journey for me. I came in Morrowind and the Elder Scrolls and have just played every game they've put out. The interesting thought about that is, what do we do when 6 comes out? Do we stay MMO or do we go back to single player? Because a lot of us are using this housing thing as kind of a little refuge in this giant MMO.
I think I'll stay. I mean, I'll obviously play the 6 because why not, obviously. But I think I'll mainly stay with the MMO because I love being able to play with my friends, and that's what mainly draws me to MMOs, being able to say, hey guys, pick up this game, play with me, you know?
Yeah, totally. That would be the same for me. I'd end up playing both so I could have my single player refuge experience, but I have so many friends here now. I would hate to like just drop all of that. Like I've made too many friendships, and I do group content now. I like it. It just took a few years for me to get into it.
That's actually really interesting how that kind of evolution for you guys. That's actually really awesome to know. Okay. Is that the same for maybe for anyone in chat as well? If you want to talk about your experiences, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah, I feel like introverts don't surround themselves with a lot of people. But they filter through a lot of people to find quality friends, or what we consider to be a quality friend.
Definitely.
And with an MMORPG, you've got a pretty big base to filter from. So yeah, that's making a lot of friends, man.
It's true.
A lot of quality people hanging around the stream.
That's it.
Hanging around the houses.
And when
Good
you're
times.
streaming, that opens up even further, which is can get interesting. Okay, so what I'm going to do is we're going to start on a couple of different subjects and topics. And what I thought I'd talk about first is actually the crafting aspect of housing, which is really kind of. I mean, I know from people in my guild and our guild and our community, is a massive part of housing. So like when you're talking about crafting, I'm talking about crafting furniture and bits and bobs that you put in your house. And my question was really like, and I was talking to Really Geek, who's a big crafter in our guild, and Gribble and other people, and it was like, because I don't craft furniture, they do. They're the ones who, put all the stuff in our hall, and I'm very appreciative of that. But you can craft things from every single crafting station, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Given patterns and materials, and actually let's back up just a little bit. Yes, there's a ton of things that you can craft, but there's also the housing crown store. There's also the regular crown store. There's also the normal housing furniture. There's also the achievement furnishing vendor. There's also the holiday achievement furnishing vendor. There's also the global world achievement vendor. There's so many avenues to pick it up. It's actually a little daunting, and there's so much to explore. And then you find out, oh, I can craft my own Nord tables. What? So yeah, they've spread it out over all the different crafting stations. Even jewelry crafting has very intricate items that you can craft out. Oh, and the master rip vendor sells gold patterns, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And the crafting stations and the set crafting stations and stuff like that.
See, when it comes to crafting furniture, I have very, very mixed feelings, really, because there's just so much, especially when you're a new player. I mean, I don't craft a lot of furniture. I mainly buy my furniture because I feel like it's just
Doggo.
that much. Yep, doggo. But like, okay, for example, Coco. Sorry, I'm gonna take you as an example. I know Coco makes these lists repeatedly where you're looking for blueprints that you want to add to your collection. And there's just so many. I mean, you've been playing this game since Housing came out, and you still don't have all of them. And imagine a new player coming and they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to do Housing now. What do I need? Oh, I can craft furniture, but there's just so much. So I don't think I would recommend it for a new player. I wouldn't not say don't do Housing, but I wouldn't go like, yes, go out and get all your blueprints, because there's way too many for to start. I would recommend just buying them from guild traders if you have the gold to do it, rather than crafting them.
Okay.
And guild traders, yes. How did I forget that? Yeah.
Guild traders.
So there is just an insurmountable amount of I mean, so in that respect, I'm gonna mention this in a bit as well, but you can essentially just play this game and just be into housing, and that can be the thing, right? I mean, you can do dungeons and everything else, but you can just literally, like you say, some of you guys may not have, or maybe none of you have, like all the recipes, all the things that you can put in your house. Maybe because you don't want to have all the things.
I know of 3 people on my friends list that have completed all of the patterns and craftable things, and everybody else is still scrambling.
Yeah.
3.
I know a couple of people too. They're like also guild leaders, so they're insanely rich, so they just buy them straight up. That's the only way really to get some of those. Some of them, like Alien furnishing plans, those are a pain in the butt to get to drop. So that one is just pretty much pure guild store surfing.
Just a good money sink, I guess.
It certainly keeps the economy going.
Yeah, actually, yes.
The best money sink.
Okay, yeah, that's important to have. That is important to have.
Gold and IRL money.
But it does. Well, oh god. Yeah. I mean, yeah, the crown store and stuff. Can you? So if you buy a recipe off the Crown store, is that account bound?
It's not a recipe. It's a piece of furniture.
It's an actual piece of
just
furniture.
They'll sell you
individual furnishing.
motifs out of the Crown store, but they haven't gone with furnishing yet, as far as blueprints and stuff.
So with that furniture piece you buy, because again, I don't buy furniture.
It'll be bound.
Yeah, it is bound.
It is bound
To your account.
Okay.
Yep.
And can you just select it and just add as many as you want, or is it that you have a limit of that item?
No, you have purchased one.
One, yeah.
You can purchase more, but you purchased
one
and
thing.
you put that down in one house. Unless, of course, we're talking about the storage chests, which some of the achievement furnishings and the storage chests. Once you've bought one can be placed down in every house you own.
I guess there's one.
But those are limited items.
Okay, right. Limited items.
But the storage chests all contain the same stuff.
Yeah.
They don't go under traditional furnishings. They go under collectible furnishings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Bloody hell. Housing is more complicated.
And we're going to be bringing up
that's cool,
stuff that wildly ranges from people who know nothing to experts can learn a little from this podcast. So if you have a question, please put it up in chat. We'll do our best to address it.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, I'm probably going to have a load of them, so that's good. It's going to be me mostly asking questions.
For example, and let me just grab this one from chat real quick. Are storage chests still sketchy, or have they fixed them? With every new update, I would check. But for now, they're working as intended.
I haven't had an issue ever myself personally, but
Ditto.
I do take screenshots before major updates just in case.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I keep my extra furnishings in them, so at least for me, if I lose my extra furnishings, it's not so big a deal. They're just extra. I don't keep anything important in them, just because of what happened to another player who had trials gear in hers and she lost everything.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Yeah, I lost something the other day when I switched my weapon set and I still haven't got it back. But that's okay. That's fine.
Screenshots are well advised.
Yeah.
Before each major update. Pretty please. Save yourself. Tech support can only help you so much.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So having a look at all the little bits and bobs I got. So in terms of the crafting session, this is the thing, go down the rabbit hole of one thing and then we can end up, somewhere completely different. So as I said, you can craft everything from multiple benches. Do you think that's good, or would you rather just have one place that you can just craft all the things? Like one bench, like it's a crafting working bench for housing items, furniture, or is it quite cool and more RP-esque to go to different crafting benches?
I would love just one bench, to be honest, because there's some crafting bits like candles, for example, they're metal, so you'd think they'd be in blacksmithing, right? But some of them are actually in
is that provisioners?
In rune thinging, or some of them are in jewelry crafting. Yeah. So it gets very confusing, and you just end up running between all the crafting stations to see okay, where's this one? All right. And it's the same thing for bedding. If there's a bed that has a lot of cloth on it, it will sometimes be in the clothing station. But if there's a breton bed that I think is in a woodworking station because of all the, but it doesn't. It's confusing. I think it's really confusing. So one crafting station for it would definitely be better.
Agree. Yeah, I wish that there was a housing bench. They did kind of I wish they did it kind of like how they did with the Blades Bethesda mobile game. There's a woodworker vendor or a housing vendor. I forgot what they called it. But yeah, that would be so awesome if we could just all craft it in one space.
Ninja?
I feel the opposite. It's an MMORPG. It's meant to burn and waste our time productively. So the more complicated it is for no apparent reason, probably the better.
All right, so you're going for pure logic.
It engages me more. Because she's right, you gotta go track down this candle. Why is it not in the cookery? Oh, because it's got an elaborate base. If it has an elaborate base, it's going to be over in jewelry crafting or potentially blacksmithing, depending on what series was out at the time. So yeah, it's layers of unnecessary intricacy for no apparent reason. I think a lot of that confusion, by the way, comes from them trying to spread it out over all the different crafting stations. Because how many things come out of the jewelry crafting station? Well, not too terribly many, particularly out of the base sets. But that's fine. That's fine. It's part of the delving in and being more interesting because it's complicated sort of thing. Oversimplification. It'd be nice if it was an option. But I wouldn't convert the whole game for it.
Or how's an idea, like maybe still have it the same way for cities, but there could be like a housing crafting station to put in your house.
Yes.
I just like that for like RP purposes even.
That's great. I love that idea.
I had a little bit of a concept, and let me run it by you guys. Tell me what you think. Giving us more slots has proven to be something that they're not capable of doing whilst keeping the entire community together.
When you say slots,
just can't handle it or something.
What do you mean by slots? Just so you know.
You get so many spaces in a house to decorate with, depending on the size of the house, ranging from 100 all the way up to 700 with ESO plus.
30 if we include the in rooms.
Do we though? Yeah, we do. Okay.
I count them.
Here's the idea. Here's the idea.
Okay, so let's start from like as a basic. I don't know if anyone's got their speakers on or anything. I can kind of hear myself a little.
I kind of hear echo a little bit. Yeah.
Has anyone got? Have you got speakers on? Ninja.
I don't have speakers.
There we go.
Am I doing an echo?
It's okay. I could hear ourselves a little tiny bit. It's okay. But in terms of what you're talking about, base level of like crafting. So to just elaborate a little bit, because people may not know at all what we're talking about in terms of housing. So you're talking about when you buy a home, you only have a certain amount of slots as items that you can put into your house, and they're depending on which house you've got, right? You can put in, the maximum of just an example. What's the maximum for like the smallest house?
Okay, so in rooms, and let's just point out that without ESO Plus, it's half of what ESO Plus members get. So I'm just going to say the ESO Plus ones. And you could just like divide it in half for non-ESO Plus. But in rooms are 30, apartments are 100, small homes are 200, medium homes are 400, large homes are 600, and notable homes, the largest home you can get is 700.
Okay.
And that's traditional item limit though. There is also collectible item limit, and that also just ranges from really tiny in rooms, which is like 2 trophies or pets or vendor or merchants, all the way up to I believe notable homes are like 100-ish at the moment. They've raised the notable home limit a couple of times,
and that's mounts as well and stuff like that.
I think mounts or pets you can only have like 6. Mounts and pets are together. They're their separate category.
Yeah, they have their own little, I forgot what that little subcategory is, but yeah, that one also depends. It just kind of, it's the same way for number of visitors too. That's its own separate thing.
So I just wanted to, before Monkey got to his idea, I just want to make clear, because like I'm just double checking for myself, because if I am double checking for myself, there'll be people listening who don't understand. So just want to give them the basic, because housing is this other thing, right? That is so intricate and so detailed, and finding it out even more. So Ninja, what was your Ninja Monkey, what was your idea that you wanted to put past? Sorry to interrupt.
First of all, Ninja's fine unless there's another ninja here, and then Monkey's fine unless there's another monkey here. And then Ninja Monkey's fine unless there's another Ninja Monkey here, and then he can change his name.
I think it's more complicated.
which is a thing. But here's the idea: they give you a door that goes to a whole nother place that is just for crafting, just for the attuned crafting stations, and perhaps a furniture crafting hub.
You mean an instance?
An instance within your instance that you can put wherever you want in your house. You can put it on a wall or whatever. So it's just the door, and it's just a portal to a ZOS controlled space, not a player housing space. So you wouldn't be able to decorate it, but it would have, if your character has access to all the attuned crafting stations, then they would all be there for you. They'd be instanced to you. What do you think about that?
I kind of like it if there would be like a variety of what it would look like, at least. If I can't decorate it, then it could at least be like a few different types. So, because my aesthetic is more sunshiny, happy, glowy stuff. And I know, say, Kyle likes dark necromancy, you know?
Okay, completely on that base. New one every chapter. So there'd be one for Somerset. There'd be one for Morrowind. There'd be one for elsewhere.
Down for that. I like that idea a lot. I don't mind an extra load screen, so I can have my everything there, but still not have it affect my base item limit. That's great.
And then to add on to that, something similar, but a distribution hub for mounts and pets, as your mounts and pets kind of come from nowhere. So maybe we do a door, you put it wherever you want in your house, and that leads to the hub of where they take care of and tend to your mounts when they're not actively underneath you. Yeah, so you can see them all.
This is something else. I'm sorry. What I don't understand is why can't the pets be out, like following you out in your house? Like when somebody comes in, this is from an RP standpoint, but like sometimes people RP actually them having pets, and then they come into your house and they're like, "Oh, do you have this pet? Can you maybe put it down for me because this is actually my pet." I don't get why it can't follow you in the house as well.
It's the exact same reason you're not seeing them run around in Cyrodiil. It's just another layer of complexity that makes it harder for the game to process your instance.
To load everything, and
yeah.
Fair enough.
Perhaps when the next generation of consoles come out, they'll up the minimum standards for potatoes to be on the game. I doubt it, though.
So, there is something in Guild Wars 2, actually. I think it's like, but it's more of an instance for
look for that in potential guild housing, by the way, Luna. If we get guild housing, you'll probably be running around with your pets in there.
That is quite cool. That's a good idea, because my monkey kind of sits on the beach and he doesn't move. And I'm like, is he alright over there? It's okay. And the dog as well. And I put him next to a ball, and it's like, it would be cool if there's like some weird little animation where he's just running around with the ball on the beach or something.
That'd be cute.
Yeah, I think it would be cool, so you can set an animation or something. I don't know, just a nice little thing. Yeah, I think that's actually probably quite a good idea. In all honesty, I mean, I think the only thing I think when it comes to, someone said crafting shed, Matagon in chat, I actually kind of like that, because you know you've got like a shed in your back garden, and that's where the kind of one bench would come in, and you've just got this shed in the corner which you kind of go in, and it's, you know, a bit wrecked and old,
little pocket dimension. It's bigger on the inside.
Yeah, like exactly like the TARDIS.
Yeah, because what dork doesn't want that laying around somewhere? Exactly.
I mean, yeah.
I know I do.
I mean, I'm British, so it's just obvious. It's just a thing.
Or a way shrine has like the entrance to it.
We've been looking for way shrines. We recently got one. Looks like one in the luxury furniture vendor, which is another avenue I didn't mention. There's so many ways to get furniture. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can come to that in a bit as well, for sure. That's interesting. I'm trying to remember that. Okay, so, and continuing with the crafting / items topic, this is good stuff. I'm liking it. Always my worry and concern is that, you know, we don't get. I think we're down to the first item thing on the topic, and it's just like, wow, there's already so much stuff. Hopefully, we're covering some of the stuff I want to cover, but I don't know. It's gonna be fine. We're gonna cover all the fun stuff.
Housing's massive and elaborate, and like you brought up at the beginning, it can be the only thing you do in this game.
Yeah. So
there's a reason we call it in-game. Like the housing community, we call this the ultimate in-game. It's the most expensive. It's very expansive. Just all those X words.
Yeah. It's all right. Well, we're going further down the rabbit hole now. So in terms,
lead us to the correct path.
I'm pushing you down. Well, you're dragging me down into the hole. That's what it is. More like. Thank you very much.
Anytime.
As long as there's cake there, and I don't know, Alice is hanging
you'll be
out.
Decorating after this, everybody. Make sure you tune in after the podcast.
I'm just gonna go to the guild hall and be like, I'm gonna actually show. I could show everyone else's houses.
We're gonna give them an inkwell and a feather and see what happens.
Oh god. Oh god. Okay. Before I get scared and afraid. In terms of skill points, so you guys all have a dedicated crafting character for your housing stuff? Or is it the character you kind of do for everything else?
I use my main for it because I like having access to it instantly. Like, if it just hits me like, oh, I want to do housing now, I can do it. But it does take a lot of skill points. Okay, so like if you're a PvEer mainly, you're not gonna spend that many skill points in, let's say, the crafting section, right?
Yeah.
But if you do PvE and housing, and you do it on the main character like I do, then you have to kind of split all those skill points all over the place, and it gets very sparse. Like, there's not a lot of skill points. You have to spread them all across the field.
Right.
So I feel it's kind of tricky like that. And I would definitely recommend, if you want to do housing and you want to do really, really, really do housing, to have a separate character for it, which is actually what I'm planning to do come elsewhere.
Okay.
So for me, it's a little different. My main tune is also my main crafter, but she has all the furnishing plans. Since furnishing plans are not account wide, they're per tune. Whenever you learn a furnishing plan, it's only on that one tune. That's why it's good to have a designated housing person. But for me, it wasn't a big deal with the skill points at all. I am a heavy quester, so I had already gone through all 3 of the base alliance zones when it came out. And I had also already gone through Cyrodiil with the guild that I was in. I actually organized a run just so we could go get all the sky shards and stuff over there.
Right.
So I had an influx of extra skill points already, and I had already put them into crafting so I could craft everything for my guildies. So for me, it was no skin off my back, but if that's not like something that everybody else, I know there's plenty of players who aren't into questing and prefer more the group content, then yeah, that's a little bit more difficult. Though I have to note with Elsewhere, we have those things coming up with, if you know the sky shards in a zone on a tune, you'll be able to purchase that in the crown store and have those skill points on your tune without the grindage.
I'm worried how much that will cost.
I know. I'm a little concerned about the price point on that too.
Maddie Gunn, that's a good question. Please bring it up again later. Let's put a pin in that one. We'll come back to that. He wants to know what your favorite decorating item is.
Yeah, we can.
I don't think we're quite there yet.
Yeah, that's.
But
that's
bring that back up, dude.
For sure.
Similar for me, Dear Zos, account-wide patterns, please. I highly recommend making your main the person you run around with the most, the person who knows all your blueprints and patterns, because you're just going to randomly pick them up. Why not learn them on that character? You know what I mean? And consolidate them there in the meantime. As far as crafting points go, if you're going to get really into housing, you're going to need gold. If you're going to need gold, you're going to want to do writs. Which means you're going to want to max out crafting on every alt. And buy every alt slot. I'm currently doing writs every single day on 15 characters because that's the max alts to make sufficient gold to do housing.
Yeah,
How
but then
long-
that's quite expensive too, isn't it? Because slots cost like what was it, 1,500 or even more?
Yep.
I don't know, it's been a while.
Slowly build up to it. You'll start with 8. Get
Yeah,
8 freebies.
I'm taking my time with those just because I don't want to get alt level burnout, but I really do recommend doing crafting writs if you want to get into housing as like a full-time thing, just because they go hand in hand. They do. But so even just like I do writs on 6 tunes right now, and I still get about 200,000 gold a week doing that. So even 6 tunes still nets you a pretty nice amount.
I need to do writs more. I do them 1 tune every day. I'm really bad.
Writs.
Yeah.
Every
Hand up.
one. Do them. It's true. I even do my writs pretty much every day, kind of half-ish sometimes.
Yeah.
You're gonna do it daily.
Yeah, I need to do that.
Go to your favorite crafting hub. Run around, do writs real fast. Even if it's not max leveled yet. Doing the writs will help level up your crafting anyway. So.
Yeah. That's right. So true. Okay, there will be no squats during the stream. No. It's just I just leave that Nightbolt. Stop telling me to do that. It's not happening.
Oh, I'm not doing anything with my body right now. So if you sub to Jebro, I'll do 5 squats per.
Wow.
Quietly in the background while it's doing interview questions as well.
Excellent.
I do jumping jacks in my stream, but I'm gonna refrain from doing anything for Jebro stuff because my legs already feel like they're gonna fall off.
Damn it.
Oh, I wish I could do jumping jacks. I don't think the house is stable enough for that.
Stable enough.
Likely break something in here.
Just do them in game in your house. Just promise me.
Do in-game jumping jacks. Take that.
Exactly. Just the most safe way of doing it. Okay, so so with the crafting, so with the skill points, I think Ninja Monkey, you said about having an account bound, but that's not really skill points. You were talking about motifs and maybe.
Yeah, we were talking about patterns.
Okay, the patterns. There's like
as far as skill points go, man, you need the skill points to max out your crafting. That's the hard part.
Do you know how many you need?
You need to focus on your build, whatever it is your main character is going to be doing.
Yeah.
Those come first, right? But then you still need all the crafting stuff. You need at least the primary thing in woodworking. You need to have that up to 10. So that's 9 skill points right there, right? Because you get the first one for free, I think. Plus a couple other things in there. It doesn't affect whether or not you can make a pattern.
You have to activate it though, don't you?
But you need the leveler, right? To be able to make the blue and the purple and the gold stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna need a significant chunk of change on at least one alt so that you can actually craft these items.
So if you're not going for a build or anything, how many points do you need? Roughly? Do you guys
off the top of my head?
Yes,
just over 100, right?
Yeah, I think I calculated in total for one. I was trying to figure out how many I was missing on an alt. I think it was about 129 for every single slot, but you don't need every single one.
Yeah, you don't need
every single skill point in for crafting. I just wanted all of them in. I think it's about 129.
It's a lot of skill point.
So that's 300 sky shards.
That's story crafting Manigon. Yeah, that's why I added the extra.
Do you get any skill points from crafting at all? Like, is there a way to get? You can't get skill points in crafting, can you? If you craft something.
No.
Nope.
That's something I actually think would be a good thing. I think that they could do to introduce some kind of, if you hit like a title. I'm gonna make one up. It might be in the game. I don't know, like Master Crafter or something. You get a couple of skill points, because it's like you spent all this stuff on it, and it gives you a bonus, so you can then put those points in elsewhere. Because you can then in elsewhere, and you can wow, such a bad joke. And then you can really make it like if people just want to craft, they could be awarded for creating different things, like create this
cool.
to.
I'd love that. I'd love more
points,
achievements in general. The housing section for achievements, even just achievement points, is very, very tiny.
Mm-hmm.
I'd really love for us to get a little bit more love in that area, and to get like experience for doing things like, we have the achievements for
Can you imagine
buying.
what your CP would be? you imagine what
It's
your
true,
CPU
though.
would
I mean,
be
why
if
not?
we got... Wow.
Probably be near 2,000, I imagine, which is twice.
I need
about
farming
my money.
CP.
It's very interesting because the other day I actually I was crafting and I was like, oh, I can just craft up like my level, right? And then I was reminded that this isn't Guild Wars 2. Because in Guild Wars 2 you can craft, and then it's like as you craft you gain XP, like actual normal PvE XP. So when you you start leveling up and you level your character, and it's like, okay, so I can just be a crafter now and level up a craft that's like max level. I mean, that gives then the opportunity for players to be like, okay, I can literally do just the thing I want to do. And I guess maybe that's a smaller part of the community, but I think we've proven that ESO has quite a big housing community. I mean, do you think there's enough people to warrant that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's huge. There's so many people, and I know, like, each of us personally, I've seen people say that because of NinjaMonkey they've gotten into housing. Because of me, they have. I'm sure it's the case with Luna too. There's a lot of people out there.
Okay. So that's definitely something. I mean, if you think about how many people have houses, or they have a house because they've got a guild, which again we'll get into that in a bit, which I have an issue with. You just think about that in that respect. It's just so many people do go into housing at some point or another that you could actually draw even more interest into it, and make it even more insane in terms of how dedicated people can get to it. Okay.
The reason, sorry.
No, go.
The reason
Absolutely.
I think that they can't do it like what they do in Guild Wars 2, that you kind of just level up with crafting for your housing, is because of all the different skill trees. I don't know how. I've never played Guild Wars 2. I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
But in ESO, we have all these different skill trees.
Yeah.
So, for example, your two-handed weapon won't level up unless you're using that, unless you're using those skills for it.
So
and
true.
I think that's why it wouldn't work. Unless it could maybe work in the sense that it automatically levels the things that you have equipped. So if you have a two-handed weapon equipped and you have heavy armor equipped, it would level those in.
But then you're not using those in combat, I guess. Yeah, no, that's actually a very good point. A very good point, yeah.
And to that end, saying like NinjaMonkey kind of like mentioned it, you can level up a tune just by doing daily writs, which is crafting. You're just turning in that daily by crafting. So technically, you could just do nothing but daily writs on a tune. I know a couple of people have leveled tunes that way through nothing but XP pots and daily writs.
Okay.
But then they don't have any skills. So.
Master
That's true.
too.
No skill points.
Well, I mean, you get the skill points from leveling. But what was it? Inklings has got it to just under 40 minutes from 0 to 50 doing alchemy or enchanting master writs.
Yeah.
What? 0 to 50, like leveling a character?
Yes.
Yeah. Master writs give a pretty hefty amount of XP too.
Here's the catch on that, though.
Is that what he's doing for elsewhere?
You have an established character already. That's not going to be your first character because you have to have the assets, the materials to do that, and you have to have quite a surplus of master writs in the first place. So it's for somebody like me who I've got 15 ults and they're about to give us a 16th one. I'm definitely going to be power leveling it through alchemy writs.
Is that your necro then?
That's not something a new player can do.
Okay, so that's your necro, is it? You're gonna grab yourself a necro. He's gonna be a 16th character. He's gonna be doing the alchemy. Is he gonna roleplay? No, Ninja's like no. He's just like no, Ninja's. I don't know.
I don't necessarily RP myself, but adding a little RP to your house fleshes it out better. Helps the design, makes for better housing tours, because if you're building a house and you're not going to show it off,
then what's like?
What's even the point?
I worked hard on this. I'm showing it off.
You got to come see this oven I put together. Did you see Coco's McDonald's, dude?
What?
You gotta go check that place out.
I love that place.
What did you make? A McDonald's?
McTamriel's. I made a fast food restaurant. It's in the Windhelm home.
Amazing.
I don't think I've seen that. Oh my god.
Oh my god, you have to.
I need to.
When she goes and does one of her next house tours, bug her about it. It's highly detailed. Coco does really highly detailed stuff.
Coco's amazing.
Okay. So make sure you guys go and check out all these guys. Again, there'll be links. So if you're interested in housing, or I would say even if you're not interested in housing, you should go and look at it, because obviously I will. There you go. There's demand for that. We want to see what is it? McTamriels? You called it?
It's like McDonald's, but McTamriels instead.
Yeah.
Just,
Who's your mascot? It's not a clown, right? What would it be? Ronald McDonald.
I don't have it, since the house I put it in has no yard. There's no sign. It's just I used Khajiit furnishings a lot in there, so it had that red and yellow look that is synonymous with McDonald's.
Okay. All right.
Y'all can all visit it anytime. My Twitch info panels have all the list of every single completed project I have, and they're open to the public. You just need port to friend add-on, so you'll be able to visit my non-primary residence homes.
Oh, that's a great idea. I need to do that.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
Something to do for later. During our 24-hour decorating stream.
Oh, God. There we go. It's going to be enough of that. There you go. So there's a command in chat as well, and this will be in the description as well on the actual videos on YouTube and Spotify and iTunes and everything else where you're listening to this, hopefully. Okay, cool. Awesome. Wow. Jesus. That's a lot. So yeah, all of that information there. You could even go and look at it now, so you know what we're talking about. If you want, I guess that's what they could do, right, Coco? They could look at it now if they want.
Hop over to Coco's real quick.
Totally, yeah. Because with port to friends, the people don't have to be online. They just have to be allowed permission to visit, which I do with my homes. That way, I don't have to always be online. I'd be giving tours for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Port to friends. So let's segue into add-ons.
Just be like sub to get a tour or something. I don't know. Okay.
But I just want to circle back to the end for leveling stuff, for crafting. That's not like actually like, this is personally for me, I don't care about leveling by crafting, but I also like other aspects of the game. I like leveling by questing, just like I did in other Elder Scrolls games. So that's me personally. For me, I'd really want to see more in the way of achievements, like more things just like to, like I just spent like a month building this house, but I get nothing out of it for like achievement wise.
Yeah. I agree.
Kitty!
More achievements would be really nice in housing. That's something that needs improving, I think.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, sorry for the pet distraction.
The pets
she
are
was
fine.
getting into something she wasn't supposed to.
I know. It's okay.
I try not to tell them what not to do. I just try and give them something better to do. Hang out with Dad on stream.
Yeah, that works.
Aww.
I can riot the camera well. Okay, so going to the next thing. And Ninja, I can still hear myself. Is it you? Are you listening on your speakers, Ninja?
A little bit.
Yeah, I can hear myself and everyone else twice. Do you have headphones?
Yep. Let me put them on.
You legend. It's just because this will be people will be listening just to this and they'll be able to hear us quite a lot. Nice one. Wicked legend. Thank you so much, dude. Okay, righty ho. Next thing is gonna be Ooh, okay, you do have designated characters, but you don't as well. Is there like a first thing? So if you're a new player, and this doesn't need to be too, I guess this could be a podcast in itself. If you're a new player, and you could be really, I mean, it's just thinking about it and what we're talking about. If you're a brand new player and you want to get into housing, what's the first bit of advice you would give them, do you reckon? Let's go with different people. Let's go with Coco first. Put you on the spot.
Well, I recommend starting small because housing, as we've already kind of touched on, is super expensive and all that. So I just really recommend starting small and do the there's room to spare brochure in the Crown store. It's 100% free, and that starts you off with your first little housing quest that gives you a free in-room. I know it seems those in-rooms are sizes of water closets, but that's why I like to do in-room designs on stream, to show that there's actually a hell of a lot that you can do with those that you might not even realize. So just start small and just explore around, because I really don't usually recommend that players start with housing if they're just beginning, but to actually explore the game itself, because then you get to kind of know things. You'll notice the vendors that sell furnishings and stuff like that.
Okay, and I guess you get to find out about decor and stuff elsewhere as well in the whole world, so you can see the kind of items, I guess, other than just jumping into housing. I guess you can't really just jump into housing, can you? Maybe.
It's not really a feet first kind of hobby, and the way it works. Even if you're buying furnishings straight up with golds, it takes a little bit when you're first making a new tune on a new account. It takes a little bit to get that gold so you can afford it, because housing is the most expensive thing that you can do in ESO.
There you go. Okay. Luna, any advice?
Yeah, I completely agree with Coco. The only way I think you could straight away start up ESO and jump into housing is if you are really, 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 really rich and you just have a bunch of money laying around that you can just throw out at the Crown store and buy your house from the Crown store and then buy all the furniture with the Crown store. That's the only way plausible, I think, that you could actually start the game and straight away hop into housing. Other than that, I would definitely recommend just exploring, questing, enjoying the world, and picking things up as you go, and eventually pick up housing.
Fair. Ninja?
I feel like the hardest part about housing, because you're gonna pick up how to actually set things down eventually. They've got new implementations of tools and whatnot, so I'm not going to say that's the hardest part, because if you're passionate about it, you're going to learn it quick. The hardest part is inspiration. What am I going to build? Having a vision, having an idea, and really what you're going to want to do, even if you're an introvert, is reach out to the housing community. Come check out one of these streams, run around Tamriel and look in the delves and the dungeons at different assets that just looking at one thing, you're like, oh my gosh, I was running around this delve and I saw this one thing inspired an entire house for me. Because familiarize yourself with the system, all the assets that are available to you, and then go. And start small. Yes, they'll occasionally give you a free 700 slot home. That is not where to begin. You're going to get overwhelmed. You're going to not like it. And you're going to wander away. I would not recommend starting on anything larger than a 400 slot home, which, by the way, is the ideal slot to space ratio, in my opinion.
Okay.
Somebody mentioned in chat the H dangerously. That is an excellent point that I completely forgot. Yes, if you want to get into housing, loot every single thing that you can find, because that's going to be backpacks, dressers, desks, stuff like that. That's where you find furnishing plans.
Wait, so is there a best place? Because I know that some people in our guild do this every single time. I'm going through the flipping dungeon on the stream, and they're like so far behind, and I'm just like, what are you doing back there? And they're like doing, and it's like, but it's not, it's all of them. It's like, I'm the only one who's like, yeah, I've got to kill all the things, and then they're just like, still like, there's just pots around them everywhere, and I'm like, am I missing something here? And they were like, yeah, you got to open all the things, and like the first thing I open, I get like some purple motif that I've never had before, and I'm like, shit.
I mean, when I go into a dungeon with people, I try not to do it because I don't want to be the person who like is
you don't want to be that person
just progressing, you know. I don't want to be that person.
She doesn't want to be that person, everyone. Okay, she doesn't want to be that person, and she does housing. Okay, the same.
And let's back up for a second. Yes, loot everything. ESO Plus. They don't pay me to say this. Get ESO Plus if you're going to be into housing. It doubles your slots and it gives you the crafting.
You think
bag.
they do, by the amount we talk about it, right?
You want it real bad.
Yeah, you have to have the crafting bag to get into housing like hardcore. If you want to make that something that's like your main hobby in ESO, you have to have it.
And not just the crafting bag, too, but the double item slots. Because, like,
double
okay,
item
fine.
slots.
We get to Sijic Villa. Great, lovely place. But how are you going to furnish that with 350 slots? It's just, that's not going to work. It's ginormous. 700 slots isn't enough for that place.
Okay, we're definitely going to get to that part of the conversation as well, because I want to delve into that a little bit more and get your feelings about that, because I have a few different feelings about that part of ESO Plus, actually. Actually, we're not far away. Okay, so looting everything is like, you know, a big one. Is there any, like, is there like one place that you guys go to that you would
I don't have one
advise?
place. I will note that East March and the Rift, where you have the Nord delves, those solo delves, those have a ton of urns. That's a good place to loot the base game furnishing plans, the base game
And they're
styles.
all available there, or is it like just that region stuff?
No, it's not to region, but it'll be the base game racial styles. They're all over the base game zones, and those can actually drop everywhere. It's the DLC ones that are zone specific. Vardenfell, I recommend going to those little crypts. Those little family crypts, those are ones they also have a bunch of urns, and you'll see other people are already farming those over there too. For the Vardenfell Morrowind theme furnishing plans, there's a ton of them. Somerset, there was a good delve to go to there, but they actually nerfed that. They actually do nerf housing stuff sometimes.
They nerf housing drops? That's amazing.
Yeah, they do. It was necessary. It was necessary.
Why was it necessary? What happened? What was the issue? Is it like that you could sell motifs?
It dropped like blueprints like crazy.
Okay.
It was awesome.
So
It was heaven,
bug.
really. It was amazing.
Yeah, but it has the tendency to destabilize economies if you don't keep it within certain parameters. So they let it fly for about 2 weeks.
Right.
In the pre-release time, and then when the regular game actually released to everybody, it came with the nerf.
Yeah, the same thing happened with Clockwork City. It was dropping heavily off of the factotums, the Clockwork plans.
Yep.
And they nerfed it about a month in, and I was like, darn it. I don't care about the economy at all. I just care about me.
So really, when Elsewhere comes out, loot everything.
I was going to say, yeah, take advantage of
Everything.
that. So it sounds
And
like
if you
it's
find a good spot, tell us all, and we will come help you loot everything.
Right.
We'll make loot groups.
Okay.
Durenia Acropolis? Okay, I'm going to make note of that.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anywhere that chat knows, yeah, for sure. I mean, places and stuff. Awesome. Cool. Good to know. Then I'm getting tips on how. Basically, this stream is for me. Okay, so how do I get into housing now? Like, I'm in game. I'm in these places. So if you hear random clicking, I'm opening urns. Okay, so wow. So much. In your yeah, okay, this is a good one. When you log into the game, how much potential time?
Keep going, I can hear you, but I gotta go take a quick bio.
Okay. You can hear us, but he's not going to talk. I hope.
I'll just be listening.
We don't have a camera in the bathroom. It's okay, everyone. Not switching cameras. It's not muted.
Oh my God.
Okay. I don't know anymore. My God, just completely. I don't know anymore.
Wait.
So
When you
I don't
first log
remember
into the game.
The game, yes. How much? So when you log in and when you're streaming, Coco smile, and you're in the game, how much time do you dedicate to just housing? Is it like, because all of you do housing and obviously everything else in PvE and stuff. How much do you reckon you spend time wise each week on housing, or each day, or each stream? Too much.
Wait, do you mean like actually decorating the house? Because I also do so much. Most of what I do is in service of housing,
Just housing
raising
in service
funds,
of.
and getting mats.
Yes, all of it.
So that's pretty
Yes.
much all I do. And
Okay.
I don't know how much I play a week. My playtime is in the 300-day range played for my main tune. So whatever that is.
I
Doesn't
don't want to
do
check
it.
my playtime.
Okay.
I don't.
I know,
I don't
it's
look at
scary,
that. I
right?
just no.
I don't know.
No. I guess
How
I
is
more
this
get. I usually when I start the game, I log in. I do my writs on one tune only. Occasionally
Yeah.
on maybe another one, but that's it. And then I usually tend to hop into battlegrounds until I get distracted by something new and shiny, and then I just go down that loophole of endless housing, and it can range from like an hour or two of housing to basically like 3-4 days of nonstop housing. It's pretty, yeah.
Okay. No, I mean it's just I'm just interested. So Coco, if you want to know how many hours that is, 300 days is 7,200 hours.
Okay, and I've had that my current account because it's on my newer laptop since October 2016. So calculate that and however many days that is, and then
Oh
that's
right,
how many hours I play.
so that's since you. Oh right, okay, wow, that is a lot. And you would say most of that is housing, right?
Pretty much everything, yeah, except for just recently, like in the past 2 years, I finally started doing group dungeons and trials, and not really PvP. Sorry,
I don't know. That's
but that's like the least amount of time. I don't really spend much time doing that. Yeah, everything I do is in service of housing. The actual housing itself, it's like Luna said, it can be like sometimes I don't have the inspiration for that day, so it's just like about an hour and then I'm done for the day. But sometimes I just like have this spark and I'm like, oh my God, I have to do this right now. It's been doing that with my current Cliff Shade Cafe, where I just like spend 4 hours decorating it. And then I'm like, the only reason I stop is because I get to the point of, okay, I'm broke again.
Yeah.
So like, and I mean, I can attest to this when I saw NinjaMonkey when he was streaming. I think it was just when Frostfall and Depths of Malatar came out, and you can get that egg thing. What is it? The golden
The
egg?
geode. I love
geode.
that geode.
There you go.
I
So
haven't
pretty.
gotten a single
And
one.
Ninja.
I think he's talking about the Halalu salt lamp.
Oh, the salt lamp. No, maybe that one.
Master Writ Furniture document thing.
Is that the thing you can change the color of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't change the color of the egg
It's got
thing.
RGB and
There
off.
you go. So you had put how many? I don't know if you remember when I came in, but I was like really interested. And this is one of those times when I was like, I need to talk about this somewhere. Anyway,
Yeah, well, I mean,
how many did you have in like
everything
one?
you're looking at? Your LED screens are RGB, so
Yeah.
you can make any color in the rainbow with those three in different intensities. So you might want to stack up to 6 of these things, but you want to make sure they're individually accessible. So we placed, turned, placed, turned, placed, turned, placed, turned, placed, turned, so that you can touch each one to turn them on and off and cycle them through the RGB to make whatever colors we wanted for the room. We ended up on a light purple.
Yeah, okay, I remember.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's really cool, yeah.
it was crazy, man. It was like a long process when you were doing that, but I was enthralled by it. I was just like, what am I doing right now? This is like, I don't know why this is so enjoyable. I was just watching it, and it was
Deeply
so weird.
satisfying content.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah. I mean, you look like you were, really into it, and I think that's when you can see someone being passionate about that creativity. And I actually think, from what Coco and Luna's saying as well, like the art of it, because you're creating. I mean, you're creating a stream, but then you're doing some kind. It's like art. You're using something to create something else, and it's
Totally.
really good. Yeah, I mean, I completely think so.
Yeah, you're using the same parts of your brain as an artist would. My husband paints paintings.
Nice.
Not all the time because he's an art teacher too. But yeah, it's just you get that spark of inspiration, and you just kind of fly with it. It's the whole staying up till 2 a.m. working on your craft.
Nice. Yeah, and literally the craft. The crafting. Nice. I love it. Luna, did you want to say something there?
No, No. I was just agreeing with Coco. Sorry.
Okay, cool. All right, no, you good. You good. Okay, so Ninja, how much time do you think you dedicate, if per stream or per day or per week, to housing? How much time do you reckon? If you could give me an average, just all of it.
100%. Even when we're playing marbles on stream, it's I'm not kidding.
All right, okay, yeah, because you can just AFK during marbles on stream, and you just need to call a kind of the winner and stuff. You can just keep doing stuff in other places. That's fine.
Yeah, you can. Well, I mean, taking a break from art is probably the best way to inspire yourself. Find something that's completely unrelated and go do it.
Go to IKEA.
Your brain will work in the background and you'll come back refreshed. So refreshing is just as important as the rest of it. But yeah, if you come to my stream, you'll probably see an hour and a half of writs per day where we just talk to the community. We have ourselves a good time. We get to know each other really well, but that's in pursuit of housing. If you find us in a dungeon, it's because we're missing an achievement there, or, a good friend needed help. Housing, because we're earning gold, we're getting mats, we're looting all the things as we go through.
Yeah.
It's for housing. We're planning to do an imp run in Cyrodiil so I can get the chair.
Yeah, that
Wait,
sounds
what?
awesome.
You can get
I don't care about PvP. I don't particularly like it, to be
You want
honest.
to be the emperor because you get a
there's an
specific
imp chair.
Wait, you get
What am I supposed to do? Not get it?
Is it a motif or is it the actual item?
No, it's a chair. It's an achievement furnishing.
And it's expensive.
It's very expensive, and not just that, but the
Wait, you can buy it?
Replicant Elder Scrolls. They spin. They can change color. They're also something you need a bunch of PvP points to get. So,
AP. Yeah, that's what you spend on it. And it's like, what, 200,000 AP for the throne, I think.
Yeah, and there's some that are locked behind ranks, like PvP ranks, like if you're a Grand Overlord or a recruit, and it's tough. There's a lot of stuff.
So if you see me PvPing,
that's why.
That's what I'm doing. I'm not PvPing. I'm housing.
Damn, jeez, I didn't even know that.
Because housing is endgame. Because it's best when you have all the achievements, you have all the gold, you have all the materials, and then what do? You put together a fancy ped to show off everything. And show it off to your friends. I've rented out a couple of houses to RPers too. They have good fun in there.
It makes sense. It's the spoils of war, right? I mean, the people have all the things.
Absolutely.
At the end of the war, they've got the candlesticks. At the end of the day, the candle, the things, not the candlesticks. The candle holders, whatever they're fucking called. I don't know. I failed on my own swearing rule.
So yeah, to answer your question, 100% of my channel is housing.
And how much of that time is a day do you do a stream?
We do 4 hours on a kind of a day stream.
Yeah.
2 to 6. When we're not in the hospital, that's a different topic. We're not going to touch on that in this format. And then a night stream, which is also 4 hours, which is usually half and half, usually the writs, and then marbles.
Wow. Okay. I'm so precious. What? I'm just asking the question, the things, what? What are you talking about? It's because I'm British. I'm just kidding. That's my excuse for everything. It's just the excuse for absolutely everything. Okay.
Or D&D, yeah, Jen. But again, D&D's for achievements. We've been trying to go through Frostvault Cavern to get the Frostvault pet.
It's so cute.
You need the pet for decorating.
Coco.
I keep forgetting about that. Okay. Right. So let's continue. Jesus, again. This does so much stuff. I didn't even know that about the chair. That's mad. I just now I want the chairs.
Oh, and an outfit too.
Yeah, you get the emperor robes, and they look just like the Oblivion ones. If you remember, if you played Oblivion and remember the emperor.
Yep.
Oh, the Oblivion I played. Yeah.
I think the
also,
chair that
I don't know about you guys, but I include fashion in housing because I can't show off my house looking like a scrub. So.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. FPS is very important.
I think, yeah, this is an MMO. I think it goes without saying.
Fashion per second.
Exactly.
Also, the Emperor chair, I think it's the same chair that you can see in, I'm not sure, White Gold Tower. When you go in that room where they have like all the Prison
Oh yeah,
cells?
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. Yeah, I know. Okay.
That
That's
big
cool.
red white thing. Ruby Crown.
Oh, that is actually pretty awesome then. Okay.
Mhm.
Interesting. Okay, so I think actually we kind of answered actually item limits in houses. I guess I'm gonna pull this into here then actually. So the thing I was mentioning earlier about my main issue kind of with the items, the item limit, and then having ESO plus as well, is that it feels like double the amount of items that you can have is too much. I don't know if you guys think that's fair. Like, I mean, because you know, if you're a, I'm just gonna ask your opinions. You know, you can just tell me. Do you need, and you guys, I've kind of said this earlier, do you really need ESO plus? Because otherwise it's a massive pain in the ass, right? I mean,
For housing, yes.
we can agree
Definitely.
there. Okay.
The increase is insane to me.
Hold on, let's back up for a second. You don't need housing to survive in this game. You don't need it at all. It's extra.
No. Exactly.
You don't need more than one house in this game. If you are into housing, you can decorate just one house, have your friends come visit. It can be a place for you to just put your storage crates. You don't have to decorate and be elaborate. If this is going to be a hobby, if you're going to get into this, you're going to do a few houses, you need ESO plus. You need it.
Yep.
Okay. And that's, you know, I think it's okay to give you a bonus for sure. I'm not sure if doubling the amount of item space to me is just a normal, you know, I don't do housing. It was, you know, I've obviously got ESO plus. I think anyone that plays the game daily has probably got it.
If they gave it to you for free, if they doubled the slots for free, you would still need ESO plus.
Yeah, because of the crafting bag and stuff. Yeah. That's right. That's right. So then.
Also, we're bucking for a housing specific craft bag, because right now housing items don't drop into the craft bag. Just the materials to craft housing items drop into the craft bag. And I don't know about these other two, but I have 4 houses that are not decorated, but they are full of things just to store to make other houses.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I know a lot of people that do.
Sorry.
No, it's insane.
That's actually really cool.
I usually just buy them on the go. Like, I buy the furniture on the go.
And you craft as you need, if you need to craft, I guess.
Mine are in my storage chests. It took me a long time to get away from storage houses, but I finally, used enough of them and gifted a lot of the ones I didn't need. It went from there.
I have a big surplus of luxury furniture items, and little Crown Store exclusive pack items that weren't used in whatever build that I'm not really necessarily willing to part with yet, because, you know, it's exclusive stuff that won't come around for another year, or you have to buy it from somebody else who has one. So yeah, it tends to stack up a little bit.
I actually kind of like the idea. I just had an image of I just went off into my own world just then of Ninja Monkey with having these warehouses of just chairs and tables and paintings and all
totally.
stacks.
I call them my IKEAs. That's what I used to call them. Oh my God.
Flatback random stuff everywhere. That's awesome.
Yeah, that new arena house consolidated 3 of my storage units.
Have you got that? Have all 3 of you got that?
The lava flow.
Nice.
In kind of a tricky method, actually. I took that orcish gazebo thing, flipped it upside down because it's got a weird interact point. So you actually have a meter worth of invisible platform, if you will, and then sunk that into the lava. So you're actually walking on the lava to go access your housing furnishings.
That's cool. I think Ninja Monkey, as far as most of the housing mancers I know, like Ninja Monkey, they usually have storage houses too. I'm more the exception. I'm just I love being organized. I'm very, very, very extra organized in all aspects of my life. So that's why I can fit them in my storage chest. Most people need storage houses.
What was the phrase you just said?
Housing mancer. That's from
Housing
Ninja
mancer.
Monkey too.
Yep, that is
Amazing.
a term we coined and have spread throughout the community. If you can put the feather in the inkwell manually, you qualify as a housing mancer. And not before.
His face right
and
now.
we will check your work.
If you're listening to this audibly, his face is very serious. It's a serious thing going on right now.
I have a stoic face anyways, but
Yeah, he's really good at deadpan. I'm not good at I'm the David Spade of humor. I'm just like laughing when I shouldn't be laughing, you know?
Yeah, I'm the same actually. It's bad.
Same.
Even when it's awkward. And it's like, it's fine. Love it. Ninja's just like chilling. It's amazing in deadpan, it's true. Sure, he could be the happiest ever, and he's just there doing that right there. He's just. Can you show me your happy face, Ninja?
this is my happy face.
See, there you go.
I'm elated to be here.
Amazing. I love this.
Is it the beard? Is it covering up the smile?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I have adorable dimples. Don't you tell me otherwise.
I think your face is covering your smile. Amazing. Okay. So yeah, we talked about ESO Plus. I think actually that's. Is it actually? Yeah, this is a thing. So there must be some things in the world, and this is something you guys asked to, I think, add as well. Is there anything in the world that is not craftable that you think should be craftable? Like, should you be actually able to craft a house specifically?
Can we get away from the word craftable?
How much time we have?
Oh god! All right, not long.
We can
I'm
give it
gonna
a
say.
twist.
All right, how about I say? I'll ask you a question first of all. This question is something that I think is actually quite just base, and then I'll ask you maybe how many items. So question one, and I'll go to Ninja Monkey first. Question one is, and I'll ask both questions and you can answer. Question one is, would you like to build a house in an area that you're given? So you're given land and then you build a house. You did?
Done, did that.
I have that t-shirt, yes. Thank you.
Wait,
Next
so
question.
you built a house out of stuff?
Totally. I've done that too.
You're damn right.
I haven't.
Oh, and you can get walls?
We're building another one Monday. You can come by and
build
watch.
like the walls and
Awesome.
the
I wanna
roof
see.
and everything? Okay, so that you can already do it. But would you like to have like so I'll include the would you just like to have land to just build on, I guess? And then also
Cole
question.
Harbor's real estate. Next question.
Yeah, true. But would you like more?
And that one set in the hunting grounds,
Easy.
Hersing's Realm.
Yep, Hersing's
That one
big,
is
big
flat
sprawl
land.
of
But
land.
I
Yes,
would
more
like
land.
something
Give
like-
us more land.
More
I
land.
would like something like in Skyrim where you buy a place and you can like go craft, and with the certain things that you can craft a library, and then like a library is there, and a dining hall or a kitchen. I think that'd be really cool.
Luna wants to play Sim City, basically.
Yes.
Oh,
I can
city
see.
skylines.
I wish I could do that
Okay,
too. I've
here we
seen
go.
people make villages though. It's hard, but it's
That
been
was
done.
my hope for Blades, was that we were going to be doing town building.
Right. Oh, blades. Oh, can you do crafting house building?
You're revitalizing a town. You're not constructing a town. It's a little different.
Yeah, you kind of like make the
Okay.
building, but you can't go in the building.
Yeah.
It's there,
Oh.
and there's like 4 different shops you can build too, but you only have 3 different kinds of shops, and there's some furnishings that you can place around the town at the little home crafter person.
It's nothing.
It's not. It's a very, very, very limited at this point. I'm
Basic.
hoping it expands more in the future.
Okay. Yeah, it's difficult on mobile, I guess. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so and again, all right. So the main question I'll ask to each of you then, if you had to pick 2 items that you could craft that aren't able to be crafted right now, Coco's like, crap. I think you're probably all like that, but I saw it more on Coco's face. If you had to pick 2 items in the world that you can't craft right now, that you should or want to be able to craft, what would they be? Ninja Monkey, you are first.
Pass. Come back to me.
Massive fail. He's going for another bathroom break.
It's
Oh
not a
no,
fail
no,
pass.
he's on his thinking walk now. Okay, I see. I see. Luna. Is it that? Is there so much
Let's
stuff?
go to Coco.
Coco,
It's
really?
hard. It's hard. There's a lot of
All right, just
furniture when I walk around the world, and I'm like, I would love to have that, and they don't have it.
All right,
but it's
so-
not things that I can go like, yes, this. I don't know.
so the answer to the question essentially is probably there is
Okay.
a lot of stuff
Let's-
that you would like to have, but
let's-
there isn't.
Let's rephrase the question. Are you
Go
okay
on.
if I do that?
Yeah, no, go for it. Go for it.
First of all, let's get away from the word craftable.
Okay.
Yes, you can craft
Oh
things.
yeah, but
crafting is
buyable or
cool,
whatever.
but
yeah.
buying something is just as good for me.
Right. Okay.
Dear Zoss, and let me be clear, we want every asset. If you can make it, we want to be able to place it somewhere.
Even if
I
it's in a
agree.
warehouse.
So let's be specific. I am most butthurt right now that there are Japanese maple trees in Somerset that we don't have.
Yeah,
I am
seriously,
very
the
upset
purple and red
that,
one.
there are buckets of small mushrooms next to alchemy stations throughout the world that we do not have.
I love those
Yes.
buckets. They're adorable.
We need
Preach.
elaborate, beautiful assets that are already in the game that you haven't given us. I don't care if it comes in the Crown store, the luxury furniture vendor, an achievement vendor, or if we can craft them.
Mm.
Just give us-
Gimme.
Seriously. Yeah. Same here. Like we have a grape stomping tub and we have the grape press, but we don't have grapevines, so we can make a
Nor
vineyard.
do we have that cool glass shed.
Oh my
Right
god,
next
the
to the vineyards?
greenhouses in
The
Somerset.
Greenhouses. Why do we not have that?
Wow,
Oh, they're
all of
so
your
cool.
faces
I
right
would
now.
love
A workable door.
Straight up.
Calm down, chat.
You
We're
guys
getting
seriously
out the
need to calm down here, people. I mean, we're
No,
getting
this is
a
our
little
passion.
bit hot and bothered about
Yeah,
the greenhouse
you can
and
tell
Somerset
the
right now.
passion. This is
what we
I
do,
can.
man.
All of your faces, you're just like, oh. Like looking into the distance, and you've got an image of yourself in front of this greenhouse. It's great.
Oh, okay. I'll
For-
get off the soapbox.
me-
No,
It makes me a
you're
little
not in
shorter,
a
though. You don't mind, do you?
I don't think it's a soapbox. I
For
think
me,
it's exciting.
I'd really love a pond. We have fountains. I'd really
Fishable?
love a pond.
Fishable?
Fishable isn't important to me, but I know there's a lot of people it is important to, so I would like that available to the people who want it.
Would you buy
I
fish?
want a
in it?
Necessarily
pond.
to pull out assets, but yeah.
We could have little fishing parties.
Yes. Oh, that'd be so cute, right? So that for me, and also more farming stuff. I'm going to generalize with the category there. We don't have a lot of farming stuff.
Agreed.
I want more things to create my own little cute
Ah.
farms, like apple trees and the grapevines, and more farm tools.
What? So you can actually farm stuff in your actual instance?
I don't. Again, that's
No,
something
just for
I
the
don't really.
design.
I
Just for
just
the
want.
design.
Yeah, I just want the looks. I've
Right,
had
right.
people that have said they would love to have like a homestead Skyrim feel where they can actually plant alchemy nodes and pull them up.
Why not?
That'd be-
Like a
And,
daily filling
that
up
would be
thing.
kind of cool too.
Mm.
But I personally just want the aesthetics. 'cause
Actually,
that's what I'm into is aesthetics.
That is
I
something.
would love
that is
weapon
something.
racks. Just
Yes.
give me a rack full of
Please.
swords.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god.
Wait, so maybe you could put your own stuff. Can you do that in the game? Can you do that with armor? Where you put armor?
No, we want to.
So
I know, yeah.
I
We want
heard that they
mannequins.
have asked the devs why we don't have that kind of thing like they did in Skyrim. They said they're having issues figuring out how to do that interactivity.
Which,
They're
by
having
the way,
technical issues with it.
the mannequins are already in the game. We just can't have them for the reasons Coco just said.
So they're
'cause-
trying to figure it out. They just they're having issues with it.
Because I guess it would just be like equipping a character or something, and you'd have to be like the man. Yeah, that would actually be. I can imagine that's.
And
quite
another
difficult.
thing that I would love to see, which I think they can already do because it basically exists, is more NPCs in housing. I know we have the banker, I
pathing.
know we have the merchant, but there's like, okay, there's a soul-driven dude. He does nothing. He just stands there and looks dead. He looks
Isn't
so
that what
sad.
they do though?
But what if we could just have like more
you want him
things
to
like
dance?
that maybe are still alive, you know? Like just let me
Sean
place
is
like
driven.
a guard
Okay.
in front of my house or something.
So you want to
That'd
make
be-
it more
that'd be great.
immersive, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, more
More
immersive.
RP friendly. That's how it would. That's what it would make it.
Okay, there's
I'm
actually
an
something.
RPer, so you know that would be great.
Ah, okay, right. Yeah, T said something about that as well, actually. Interestingly enough.
I do like my Sean the Shrivens though. I always put them in my markets and stuff like that to look like. I used to work in retail, so it looks like a depressed retail worker. Like, God, why do I only get paid $8 an hour for this shit?
Excellent. Oh, amazing. Okay. Yeah, that's actually some really good ideas there. I like that. Because I'd like the idea of being able to walk into a place and be like, and show off my armor, you know, like the cool armor, the monster sets I've got. And like maybe, you know, the helm and the shoulder piece are next to each other on a shelf or something. And it's like, you know, I killed this guy. I've got the trophy. That's cool. The trophy's easy to get. But like, I want to, you know, I've got the actual shoulder piece and the monster set, you know, and I've got that as part of my trophy cabinet or something. I don't know. Or to even show off my different looks, but on different mannequins and be like,
Look, I got the entire set of buoyant armature.
Yeah. Just like, yeah.
It's hard.
That'd be
I got
cool,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Rather than just like looking, you know, my actual character on my bag or whatever.
I mean, even as a placeholder though, I'd be okay with like preset mannequins that you can't interact with, just so we can have it just for.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
people building armories and stuff like that. Like seriously, those already exist in the game.
Just give them
Right.
trust. Thank
Just
you.
like basic armor and stuff. Okay. Right now, so this is the one where I'm definitely gonna get a little bit more on a box if I've got one. I've got many boxes in here. I moved recently. Of the soap variety. Should there be a dedicated? So we're changing topic a little bit. Should there be a dedicated guild house for a guild?
Yes.
So you can access the easy answer there. So you can just access it, and you know people are maybe given permissions, or is it okay right now that one person has a house and that everyone just transports to them? Luna, you go first, because I've got a feeling that
If
you
I
want
may.
to talk about it. Just a small inkling of a feeling.
So the thing is, okay, again, I'm gonna go from the RP standpoint, and as an RP, like in an RP guild, we always have like the big main place that we use to gather, whether it be like a noble guild or a mercenary guild or whatever. We have this place where we all gather, where we all come together, and we RP there like almost every single night.
Right.
Now, and I'm the guild leader, so it's my house that gets used for it. So I have to give my primary house for everybody to use, which I don't mind furnishing a house for everybody to use. I love that actually, but I would adore having to be able to like put that as a guild home, everybody being able to go to that guild home, and still being able to have my own primary house that I can use for like my character's place, for example. And that's just really frustrating with me. And touching on that guild house also, if you have a bigger RP guild, for example, there's 500 people that you can have in one guild, right? And the notable houses only hold 24 people. That's not a lot of people, especially not if you have a community guild or, like I said, a very large RP guild where those 24 slots, if it's an active guild, they get filled like boom.
So
done,
that's the biggest.
You know?
That's the biggest house you can get. Is a maximum of 24 slots.
24.
So if you're listening right now, 24 actual people can go in there, and maximum guild size is 500. You said, right? Is it 500?
I think it's 500 maximum guild
Yeah.
people that
Right.
can be in it. Yeah.
So it's not even. It's not even a fifth. It's not even a
No.
fifth. It's a quarter of a fifth. And we're trying to work that out percentage-wise. Someone can do that in chat maybe, or someone that's good with that kind of thing.
And
But yeah,
Sorry.
that's pretty crazy. I mean, that's crazy, right? I mean, that's where my soapbox kind of is. I mean, it's like I mean, like you say, I mean, and you've got a massive guild, right, Luna? So have you had that problem before when you're trying to fit people into a hall, or?
I don't currently have a massive guild, but I have done very large RP events, and it got to the point where instead of, being able to actually use this house that I had decorated for this RP event, we had to move over to something like what was it? I think the Alcair Castle that's there, to that one instead, because more people than 24 people can be there. I've easily hosted an RP event that had over 60 people in it,
And so you've had to do that in the real world.
We've had to hop on over, which then encourages trolls to come in, and they disturb the RP, and it's just, then people don't want to be there anymore. They leave.
Yeah, because it's broken. Okay, so that's a major thing, and I think if it's something that is happening, I mean, for RP events, I mean, especially in Elder Scrolls, I think essentially because you have so much individual character achievement, skill point, crafting, and all these different things, each character is its own thing, its own person. So I think RP in this game is a lot more, I guess, accessible, just with what you can do. So it's very important that you can have more than 24 people. Because if you want, you just want to have a fishing party, like you said, what happens if fishing comes in and there's a pond? Like, you can only fish with 24 people. What are the other guys going to do? You're just going to wait. It's the waiting list. Sorry, mate. Yeah, you're next. 10 minutes. You can come in and fish. I don't know. It's just like, it just seems a bit ridiculous. And then, I mean, I'll ask you guys. Sorry, Coco, how do you feel about it as well? Is it just kind of
want it in the terms for, I haven't had an issue myself or in the guilds I've been in where I've needed to have like a guild house. Like, primary residence has always worked for me, and it's always worked in terms of the new player social guild that I am a high-ranking officer in. But I want it for people like Luna, the RPers who like need it for larger parties, or T the Khajiit. I mean, come on, have you seen the amount of people she pulls together? Yeah. It's like massive amount of people.
There's juggling pies. That's true.
It just it limits the amount of people that she can have over for her tea time on Sunday. So I want it for my friends, so they'll be able to enjoy the content they want.
Ninja?
Should we have a guild hall? Is that the question?
I guess it's two-part question. One is the amount of people, the limit. Like, is 24 okay? Do you want a lot more? Do you want less? What is it fine? And also, I guess as well,
and we keep pinging on 24. That's the maximum in the biggest house.
Yeah.
I decorate all the houses, and we started doing YouTube because I had to tell people to leave my house so that I could show more people the house. Thanks for coming over.
It's literally like a tour.
Next, it sucked. So I started doing house tours on YouTube, and then people had questions. Well, you can't interact with YouTube all that much, so we started doing Twitch so that people could interact and see stuff. And when I show off a house, we still. It's better to be in the house, so we still have to cycle people out. If I'm in a 400 slot home, that's significantly, decreased from a 700 slot home as to how many people who can come in and how fast we have to cycle them just to show stuff off. Because like I said, inspiration's the hardest part of this. So looking at other people's houses is probably the best way to get inspiration.
Right.
That's why we're on Twitch. So more slots for people to come in, more slots for everything. Would a guild house be better? Probably. We're still going to cap it out. Even if they put it at 500, we're going to fill it. So, I mean, if you build it, they will come. I don't know, something like that. What I'm looking for in a guild house, though, is the potential to have a 1,500 slot home to decorate.
Yeah, I mean, it would be the next level, wouldn't it? That's it.
And then we're looking at a small village, not a house.
Exactly. Yes.
So it would be its own.
That's where it
let's
should
go
be.
to Ninja Monkey's town.
Yeah, or the guild that you're in town, or whatever. If your guild's
that
called
reminds
Ninja
me,
Monkey,
actually, I've said this several times on my stream. I would love a house, but this would definitely have to have more slots. Like 700 would not be enough for this. a house like, do you guys know Firebrand Keep in Stormhaven?
I think
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah, a house like that. It essentially, you come in, there's these big gates, you go in, and then there's all this like training space.
Yeah.
There's a watchtower. There's the huge kind of keep, and then you go over a small bridge, and there's the second manor, I guess, type thing, where then all the soldiers go to sleep or go to eat and stuff. And I think something like that would be absolutely amazing. But
That would be awesome.
again, that would definitely need more slots than 700, I think.
Touching on the item limit, that's definitely what's more important for me. Visitors would be nice too, but it all kind of comes around to the fact that, like Ninja Monkey kind of mentioned a lot earlier, it's a matter of the console players and people with really low end PCs. They can't load. The reason item limit is how it is because people can't load past that very well. Otherwise, they're stuck in a load screen and might get kicked out of the game. So I would like an item increase somehow with like those larger cool homes like a town. But maybe if they could just even put a disclaimer. I wouldn't mind if it were just like some kind of disclaimer to say, you know, you'll need a high performance PC in order to get to this cap or something. I just want to be able to do something like that, build a town.
System requirements
the
list.
opportunity.
You can imagine it, can't you? System requirements list. If you want a PvE this, if you want a PvP this, if you want a housing, then there's like
Sky this. Can we give it its own server and make that server's minimum requirements different?
Yeah, I mean,
that's an interesting idea.
Here's housing. It's on that server over there. You're more than welcome to come. Here's the requirements.
You mean like
and
region?
Then not take the housing that's already on the game off.
Yeah.
Just start building more over there.
That seems like it would be a good solution, at least like
I don't know
as far as
it's elitist, but
I don't know the intricacies of that and how easy it is for that kind of thing to be created. So
it's improbable. That's why I said pie in the sky.
But still, that would actually be cool. I mean, you could have.
It's wishful thinking. They have said that the item cap isn't moving for the foreseeable future because of that, but they're still trying to figure something out. It's not high on the priority list, but they do want to try to figure something out to raise it at least a little bit.
Okay,
it's
so
just
it is something
that would be like years down the road if it happens.
Okay. Yeah, because when you're trying to build on technology, I mean, but they only added it 2 and a bit years ago, and then they're adding that technology on the technology that was base game from over 10 years ago, I guess, that was in creation. Like building systems on systems that are really old is very difficult because you're managing a system that's really when did the ESO start getting made, coded? I mean, this is a long time ago, and ESO was. Yeah. Was it 6 years in production, or was it longer? I think it was one of the longer production cycles.
I thought it was like more closer to a decade.
I think you might even be right. Was it being made before Skyrim?
This was a long time in the making. It was a really small team at first too.
Huh. I have to try and find that out. Wasn't it? I think it was 6. Someone said 6 to 9 years. I remember.
It was along the lines of WoW is doing very well. We should get into this.
Yeah. That was a while ago. Okay, cool. Does anyone else want to add to that? That's all.
I have something that I want to add regarding maybe more free housing a little bit. I know we're getting something free with elsewhere that's locked behind questing, but I think it would be really cool. I had this idea this morning actually when I was getting ready for this. I think it'd be really cool. So to finish all the factions, you do Cadwell's Gold, right? But what if after you finish Cadwell's Gold, a new quest came up in that town, depending, and you can choose which one you kind of want to take, like if you want to take the EP faction one or the AD or the DC. So Daggerfall Covenant, Evanhar Pact, or Altmere Dominion. And for example, let's say you choose to go with that new DC quest, and there in that DC quest you get a Red Guard, an Orc, and a Breton, and you have to go through several little things, several little steps, and have to do choices, and depending on your choices that you take, after you do that quest, you get a either red guard, a orc, or a Breton-styled home in those areas. I think that would be cool, like a medium-styled home or something.
Is it like an intro home, or is like a?
It would be a later like end game kind of home. Like congratulations, you did Cadwell's goal.
Oh, yeah.
Here you go, have a bigger home, not a big home like the Sijic one, but maybe a classic home, like a medium-sized home.
Yeah.
So I think it would be really cool.
More interactive quests for housing. Is kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It's a big part of the game, you know. I mean, there are games that have questing which involve housing. Some games have nodes for like mining nodes that refresh daily, so you can just go in and you can farm your instance out. Like you have a node for everything. Like eventually, I mean, Guild Wars 2 is something I compare. You know, a lot of MMOs too. Guild Wars 2 housing system is very poor, but they do a couple of things very well that, you know, all MMOs do something very well that you can always think, you know, that actually might be quite cool in here. And they do that, you know, you can purchase it on the store or you can earn it. I don't think there's many you can earn in Guild. Maybe there's not any, but you can have like an iron ore node and you can just, you know, you can do that. Or there's a quest to do something like that. And that would be cool because then you can, I mean, you're right, you know, it makes that a part of the game. And that could be, it's just an option. You don't have to do it again, but you know, like Ninja said again, you know, maybe it's just easier to stick that stuff on the stores if people want to buy it, or if they want to craft it, or if they want to.
I think you know how if you do PvE a lot, you can do no speed, like speed runs, no death runs, and so forth. And if you do all of those, like in the Scale Call, you get a special skin, and it's really, really hard to get that skin. I know maybe a handful of people actually have it.
Yeah.
Now, it'd be cool to have something that's just as challenging, I guess, kind of to do, but for housing. Instead of getting a skin, you get a house. You know?
Nice. Okay.
So that's why I say do Cadwell's Gold, because Cadwell's Gold is not something that everyone will go through doing. But if you want to run that extra little mile, do that extra little effort, you can, and here's the reward for it.
That might be what they're testing with the Elsewhere home, to see if there's enough people that actually make the effort to maybe do something like that in the future. Because the marketing is always going to like test stuff out to see if like, is this something people really are into, or is there not a lot of people that interact with this?
So this,
I like that idea.
This is something that they should do. I mean, could be a really cool thing, even just as a community thing for Zos to do. You know those streams they have, and I'm actually going to suggest this now, is that they do house tours and they do competitions, and that they actually have some kind of competitive thing. Because I mean, there must be people that do this, like have competitions like within their guilds and stuff, like who. You know,
there's housing guilds.
There is
just for that.
But like even having this on the stream where, you know, Zos, you know, Gino has like a short list of people she ports to. And, you know, people submit their houses, they submit, and, you know, they can win crowns or, I don't know, whatever. Or they can win a specific item, like, once a month, you know, like, you have to create this thing and, like, this theme or something. And, you know, we'll, you know, go around your house on stream and we have a panel of devs that are involved, and this is actually quite a good idea, I like this. And they go through that and they look at the house and they go in there and they're like, oh, you know, they've got this, and they get this special microphone in the mouth. Wow, sorry. I'm just like really keen about this idea. Apparently, I was just like,
wait. Are you trying to get me to watch ESO live for more than just the drops?
Maybe.
Because if so, I'm in.
I mean, that's why like 188 people are here right now.
House, comment and judge it. Possibly handing out a rare, exclusive. Trophy?
There you go. You could get community members to judge it. I mean, you could
they haven't live streamed something like that before, but they've had two housing competitions before. Housing competition has been done. So
have they done it many times though?
To have it live streamed would be cool though.
Yeah, live streams would be
amazing.
Exactly. Live, like that's the thing. I mean, and you could get like you free on example, like go to Zos, have a look at the studio, you like get involved with the housing stuff, give some feedback. and like they do with them, the class guys and everyone else who gets to go, like you could really be influential in that kind of conversation because it's a very big part of the game, I think. And then you could sit on the panel, be on the panel with judges with a couple of devs or Gina or whoever, and just be like, okay, let's go to this person's house. Great content, shows off a good part of the game, which doesn't really, in my opinion, get shown off that much on streams.
No, I do think they need to put more of a spotlight on housing. The only issue with your idea is that they only do 1 hour streams. They keep them short. Just because they only do them for the hour after they get all the workday is over, and they all want to go home to their family.
So how about that just be the winner's house then?
Yeah. That's what I thought. Is maybe they could like showcase the top 3 winners. Maybe?
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. You couldn't do all of them. Yeah. No. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
No, but the top 3 should be possible. I think.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, even if they wanted to do it as a longer thing, like at a show or something, like at a show like PAX or TwitchCon, when they've got creators there, do something different. Go and do the housing thing. Imagine that, like you'd have all those people there. You might as well, and you could really utilize that. Actually, could be quite a good thing to do. And you could just have like random housing stuff, or you could recreate a housing booth. I don't know. That'd be a bit crazy. So you got someone's house. Anyway, the idea can keep spiraling on. But yeah, I like that idea of having quests and stuff in the game where you can actually do that kind of thing. That's cool. Okay. Let me have a look. One thing that was quite cool in terms of the guild housing stuff, which is actually, I was talking to Reader about this because I was trying to get a little bit more info about housing and sorts of gribble. A couple of people in the guild. And she suggested something that would be actually really good. And something I've thought about myself in the past in terms of other items, but having actual items that everyone can donate to. Like everyone can donate towards a specific goal, like something in the guild house. Like if you have a guild house, for example, it's a bit of a different system. We need to make this thing. I want to donate, 10 wood or 10 iron or 10 whatever. That's something that I think would be very cool. So that, housing becomes more of a group activity rather than, you just sending this stuff to them via the mail. You can actually just donate to a source, so something either gets created automatically, or you donate it to an area and it kind of gets assigned, and then someone crafts it. Is that something you guys would think would be quite a cool thing to do as a group, as a guild, if it was a guild house, or would you rather just be like, this is a crafting guy, you send the stuff to him, it's fine? Is that something that's any good? I don't know. I'm a noob.
I think it would be fun. I actually think it would be really cool to kind of have like. We have to bank, we have to system. It would be cool to have a separate kind of guild banker if you got a guild house, where in the sense that people can go to the house and they can specifically put stuff in that guild banker's house and inventory, I guess. And they can put in gold, and that gold or those furniture and stuff that they put in there can only be used for that house where that guy is standing in. Something like that. I don't know. I think it would be kind of cool. Something like that. Because there is a guild bank where you can put stuff into, but that isn't housing specific.
Yeah, it just goes there. And you just have to kind of fish
goes
it out.
There, yeah. And then technically, if you don't 100% trust your guild leader, they can technically use whatever you put in there for anything,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a log for the bank?
Yeah. Yeah,
there is a log.
There's a log.
Okay.
You can see who takes.
Yeah, there's a log. It just doesn't get your stuff back.
Yeah, that's the thing I was about to say. It's just like, it's not going to help, is it? Any other thoughts, Coco or Ninja, about that at all?
I'm not a guild leader, so I don't really have a guild leader mindset for that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So for me, like my people that are super kind, I get really spoiled by my friends. They send me stuff. It works well enough for me, but I don't have my own guild to have to have that stuff organized. The housing guild I used to be in, their guild bank was for all housing stuff. It wasn't for anything but housing stuff. So they just had it organized for that.
So it could be good enough as it is. Fair enough. Ninja Monkey? Any thoughts?
Yeah, we'd totally love to see guild housing implemented for the reasons we touched on before. The rules are going to be complicated. I would not want to be the dev in charge of finalizing those rules.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they could pull it off. It's been done in other games successfully. Maybe they'll take some keynotes from those and run with it in that direction.
Okay. Righty ho then. Let me have a look. Okay, I think that's kind of the same question. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so ESO Plus we've talked about is very, very crucial. So this is getting to the store now. And also just generally how you get houses in the first place, I suppose. So I did a cool thing with our guild, and I did the quest line in Loonaromi, when you can get, if you do 50, is it 52 quests or something like that, you can buy a house with gold off the store, right, rather than with crowns. I have a question because I'm not sure. This is where my research went a bit awry, unfortunately. Can you do that with most houses?
Most, yes.
Most, yeah.
Some are gold only, very few, but they're usually achievement based. Most are gold/crown, and some are crown only.
Okay. So that's quite cool. So you have the option, and if you're listening to this, and again you're new to housing, Loonaromi is a zone. It's its own zone. It's an own map within Elder Scrolls Online. As a guild, we just decided, we wanted to get this, but it would be cool to, rather than just someone buy it, which I think, houses can be expensive. I mean, they can be hundreds of dollars. It was like, I think 2.5 million gold or something. I think roughly.
The notable homes are usually like about 3.8 million, and the large homes are usually around 1.1 million.
Okay. This one's got water. I can't remember which. It's got like a beach, and it's on the sea, and
Hunting's palatial.
Yes.
Okay, that one's 1,250,000.
Okay, it's 1,250,000.
She's got her spreadsheet up.
Damn, Jesus Christ! See, these guys know.
In my brain, yeah.
These guys know. But that was awesome. It was really, really cool. It was like, I mean, I had to individually unlock it. So again, it could be something you could do as a guild with. Somehow you got ranks or XP towards, and you unlocked different homes. I think that would be a very cool thing you could do if you ranked up your guild, and it's like, you have qualified to access the, I don't know, toilet room or something. I don't know. You get access to
that's
stuff.
kind of what they did with the Elsewhere home. I mean, there's no toilet. And
I hope I unlock
they
that
didn't
one
really
fast.
have toilets in Temple. But that's what you do with the Elsewhere home. You get a tab. You do the specific part of the achievements, and Elsewhere you get a tablet, and it opens up a different section of the temple. It's really cool.
Oh, there you go. I mean, I actually, because I'm purposefully not playing the PTS. I'm purposefully not doing anything anywhere, or even finding out. Necro, I'm just like, all I know is that it's all this stuff from the live streams. I've just done it on purpose. So that's really cool. I don't mind knowing that, by the way. It's not an issue. But that is actually a really, really cool thing. And that is already something that they're thinking about and doing. So cool. Okay. That's actually really, really good to know. Do you guys think houses are too expensive?
As a casual hobby, yeah. Yeah, it's cost prohibitive for people who just want to dabble in it. If it's your primary hobby, I think it's about right.
How much is an average?
Monkey. Yeah, pretty much.
How much is an average? Would you say like the middle of the range home, like in dollars wise?
In dollars, I think about
medium-sized homes are usually 5,000 crowns, which is about $40 USD.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, you should probably just save up the gold.
Yeah. Medium-sized homes are like usually around 300,000 gold. That's really easy to make. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It only gets a bit tougher when it comes to like the notable homes, or when it comes to limited time homes. They're only crowns. One thing that I think should be available is to gift houses, because there's a market for the crown gold exchange now, and there are a bunch of people who have a ton of gold laying around. They're like, I really want to buy this house, and I can't because I don't have the IRL money for it.
Yeah.
But I have the gold. Like it would be cool if I could exchange this and someone could gift it to me. I feel like that's something that would be very, very cool to unlock, and a lot more people would then have access to limited time homes.
I actually am wondering why that wasn't allowed.
What if you could
It's
buy?
there. It's just grayed out. You can't use it.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I never heard like an actual dev ETA about like why that's not
that
currently
is.
allowed. There's a reason apparently, but I don't know what the
Wait,
reason is.
what's not allowed specifically? Sorry.
Gifting houses.
Gifting houses. Okay, right. I wonder if it's because it's too much money. Is there?
Yeah, I'm
I
wondering
don't
if
know.
that's it. The cost maybe it gets stickier the higher the gold rate exchange is going there. I don't know. I don't know, but there's like stuff in the crown store, like the crown crates, for example.
That's
You can
worth as
you can gift like a ton of those.
Yeah, you can only gift 15 at a time, right?
Yeah, that's 5,000 crowns.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of crowns.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's
and then
50,
you can gift multiple. Like you can just gift after gift after gift too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Seth Rich says gift crowns or gold, and I don't disagree with you. The caveat, of course, being that if I want somebody to have a sweet roll, I don't send them the money for the sweet roll. I send them the sweet roll.
Yeah, it's like more the thought that counts, isn't it? I suppose than the gift card.
It's about intent. You know what I mean?
Gift cards are cool, but if someone's put thought into the item, it's nice as well. Although to be fair, I guess I kind of like the gift card as well.
Me personally, I don't buy crown store things with gold. I'm uncomfortable with it personally.
Why is that? Do you mind me asking why?
I'd really still love to be able to gift houses, period. Just the ability, because right now you can technically kind of do it, but you have to put in a crown store ticket through the website, and then go through the process of talking back and forth with a dev, making sure that you have the crowns in your account for them to take out, and it ends up taking a couple of weeks. So I'd really love to be able to make that process a little faster so I can gift a house to my friends.
Yeah.
So I mean like it is there.
True.
They can do it. It's just they need to maybe allow us to press that grayed out button.
Right. Okay.
That
So
would make everything a lot simpler.
maybe you'll be able to do it with elsewhere. I mean,
Maybe. That'd be a cool update.
I mean, if there's a button there, the intent is there.
I didn't see anything about that in the patch notes.
Yeah,
really?
I'd love
it's
to
not
be
gonna
surprised, though.
Yeah. That's true.
Wink,
I mean,
wink, nudge, nudge.
if it's a store thing, maybe it's something. Yeah. I mean, like Zosh said in chat, actually, again in Guild Wars 2. Now, this is where things get a little bit hairy because the ESO system is very different. I think they do it differently because in Guild Wars 2, for example, you can trade gold for gems, and gems are crowns. So imagine like you can swap 1 million gold for, I don't know, 5,000 crowns or something, whatever it can be equated to. And I think there's an issue with that. One, because I also think that system is great for the player. I don't think it's great for the company to make money. Because, then everyone would just be earning stuff with gold. I mean, you wouldn't buy stuff. Whether or not, they limited that or what else. I actually think that is a very cool system for the player. But I would want the company to be able to earn money so that they can continue to create content, and we know the issues that are going on over there at the moment.
Agreed.
So I think it's very awesome, also very bad, because it's not a great business model. Again, great for the player. The player continues to play, and if they want the things, they can buy them. But in-game currency as well, switching over to that, it's dangerous, especially when you've got no sub or anything else. That's another conversation and probably another podcast.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it becomes very difficult. But yeah, I mean, houses, there's loads of stuff people want to gift. I mean, Anna mentioned in chat as well that, gifting subs and stuff like that, I guess that's another conversation. But gifting houses, I mean, that seems like a really obvious thing that should be in, because that's like, the most graphically thing that you can look at. I mean, it's nice, it's pretty, it's a thing.
I remember when they first brought out the gifting thing on a PTS, and I was super excited because I saw the being able to gift like the thing, a gift to a friend. It was there in the house. It's just like, oh my god, I'm gonna be able to gift houses to people, because one of the things we did in one of my RP guild previously was when one of our members reached officer rank, we would gift them a medium home. And it would just make it so much simpler if we could just gift it rather than having to like go through seeing if we can transfer something or go through. I mean, you can buy with gold too, but it would be a nice little surprise. Wake up in the morning, you see a little house there in your notifications. I don't know. It'd just be a cool thing to add.
Luna wants houses gifted.
Yeah.
If you're gonna gift a house, okay, cool. So I mean, I'm gonna ask more personal, fun questions. I think because we're starting to kind of come, I guess, to for what I have anyway. Oh, actually, there you go. I've kind of written it. All right, here we go. And we'll go with Coco first because she's that side of me. If you could add one thing to housing in general, and it could be something we've talked about or we've theorized or discussed or whatever. If you could add one thing that you could add to housing, whether or not, it doesn't matter. You can go completely out of the box. Doesn't mean it doesn't, necessarily have to be a possible thing. But what would you want to add? Like if you could add anything. And that is a very open question, I realise. And NinjaMonkey and Luna, if you could start thinking about this, because Coco's going to go first, pressure. What would you add if you could add anything to housing in general?
Like, not just furnishing.
It could be an item. It could be
it
could be a mechanic. It could be anything to do with housing at all.
I want more small houses. We have a lot of notable homes coming out constantly. It's a huge drain on it's expensive to furnish, it's expensive to buy, and it's a huge time sink, and it's giving a lot of us burnout. So I want more small and medium sized 200 and 400 item limit homes, or apartments will be great too. 100 item limit, I can do a lot with those too. It really helps curb my burnout to have a difference in sizes in homes, and we've been getting fewer and fewer and fewer. Frostbolt Chasm was a great start to that. That's a medium sized home. But I would like more of those. So that's my one thing that I keep wishing for. I'm going to keep sending in the feedback until they listen.
So it is about that smaller. So I guess it's like when you're painting something, or like you said about your husband who paints and whatnot. I guess it comes to that. Rather than working on this massive project that might be something that you work on for like a year or whatever, you want to have something small so it can be just kind of bash that one creative thing out, and you can redo it, and it can be redone quite quickly if you want to do it again. And it's like, I can see that. Like if you're doing a bigger project, then you can kind of go to this smaller one, play around in there. Maybe that influences you to do something in the bigger home, or even if you, I mean, I can understand that.
It's variety. Variety really helps, and it really helps not to like. It costs, usually I spend about 3 million gold furnishing a notable home. I'd really love to not always have to do that, and to be able to have a small space that feels intimate, where I can just spend a couple of $100,000 and it's still filled and looks fantastic and is adorable.
Cool. Okay. I like it. Luna.
I agree with Coco, but also this is something Fonzie, my fiance, and I talked a lot about. It'd be really cool. So you have the Alanor townhouse. I think most people know that house. Yeah. And if you go around Somerset, you can see there's a lot of similar homes that have slightly shifted rooms that are slightly different. I think it would be super, super cool if, for example, you say, okay, I want the Alanor house, but I want type A or type B. And in that sense, that there'd be like the same one, but with slightly rooms in maybe a different location, or this one maybe has a door here but not there, or something like that. I think it would give more variety and more uniqueness when you go to from house to house to house to house. Yeah. Because I just think everyone always likes having something unique, and I think that would add to that and would encourage people to maybe want to go into housing more as well.
Cool.
That's
Okay.
what I think.
So what you could have options to select, like you have the house area that you buy, like the home and everything else, but you have a slightly different option. Like, do you want to have the one with the balcony on this room or something?
Like, do you want to have a balcony there, or do you want to have a closed room there, for example?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
like,
kind of Skyrim like.
Type B.
Skyrim,
Kinda,
where you
yeah.
can-
Yeah.
I like that idea. Yeah, I
That
missed
is a
that
good
about
idea.
Skyrim, where you can have you can have an enchanter station, or you could totally like just do or what is it? Enchanting is on one side, or you could do
I think it's the library,
kitchen,
maybe. I don't
I think.
know. A kitchen? Oh yeah, maybe the kitchen. Yeah.
Sounds like you guys should get together and do a regular housing podcast, if you ask me. I'm serious. I think you should. I don't think there's enough podcasts for Elder Scrolls. I really don't. I think there could be podcasts about specific things. I think people do them every so often when they feel like people aren't talking about the things that they want to be heard about, and then they kind of fizzle out. I actually think that there could be. I think you three could do a really good job with that, actually. Cough. Ninja Monkey, so what do you out of anything, one thing you could have in housing, and like I said, the scope could be very wide. It could be an item, it could be a mechanic, it could be whatever. What would you want to have?
My idea, the thing that would benefit me most is kind of a double-edged sword. I would like an elite decorator's status, where they can put things down and pull things up out of their own inventory as a guest decorator.
So you just want to give permission? What?
Right now, if I want to decorate somebody else's house, I have to go grab the thing. I have to bring it into the house or hand it to them somehow.
Oh, yeah.
And then they have to put it down, which means if I'm decorating somebody else's house, they have to be there.
And that's something that could be sorted with
It is a
guild
migraine and a half, particularly on larger projects. I do a bunch of commission builds.
Read it in the chat. Yeah, it is
elite decorator status. The double-edged sword is they can pick up all your stuff and run away.
Yeah, I mean
that's why
it's no different than guild bank permissions. So
I think it's a trust thing, isn't it? It's like with anything, like banks and stuff like that. I mean, I think that's something that again could be really introduced with a guild house specifically. You give permissions, and then they can do the things. Yeah, they can do everything you should be able to do.
Yeah, Reader Geek knows what I'm talking about. My migraine with our bleepity bleep guild hall. Yeah,
she has to message me.
If it's your guild hall, you have to be there while other people decorate, so that you can put things down for them or retrieve them if they go behind a glass wall or the floor. It's a small living nightmare.
Sorry.
Please
I understand why they did it the way they did, but I feel like it should be like guild bank kind of stuff where you can just have it by rank.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
I totally.
Elite decorator status, and then I can remove that as soon as you're done with the project.
Is there any reason why you need to be called elite guild decorator?
Housing Mancer would do.
I love it. I was like, elite.
I'm not a guest decorator. I am a Housing Mancer. I've come to do wizardry upon your furnishings.
I like that. That's good. You could have a special hat while you do it. Actually, kind of like that. Yeah, I know. Someday there will be guild halls. I mean, you can imagine. It's just something which.
And if you agree with me, put ! dragon up in the Discord.
It's something definitely they missed. I think when they introduced this system of housing, I think a guild hall is. I think they probably realised this already, and hopefully there is something, because there could be a DLC for guilds. With the amount of stuff you could do.
And all of our complaints, all of our whinges are because we love it.
Yeah, of course. That's why podcasts and discussions happen. So it's definitely and you know what? At the end of the day, if you create the game, and to be fair, I think ESO is one of those MMOs where a lot of the devs, even the community team, because I know in a lot of games, community team they play their game, but they don't play it that much. But I mean, you see on Twitter, fucking
which
like
dev
Lambert.
Houses, which one does?
Oh well, the houses
housing
specific. I don't
in the
know.
game.
I don't know,
Like
but they play the
come
game.
play housing. Which dev is?
But they play the rest of the game. is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. But like the housing stuff, yeah, I mean that's different.
All we have to do is get one dev interested in this.
Who would be
And
the
we'll have
one?
a person on the inside
I mean, there must be people who
getting
are
us
interested.
Japanese maples.
Do they have a housing dev though, or is it more like it's the people who are interested?
Well, yeah, there's people developing the game in the housing sector. What I'm saying is, how many of those people play the game specifically for housing? How many people are doing what I do?
I asked because remember earlier this year when they took some of the very lucky players like Ninja614 up to headquarters.
Yeah.
So a couple of them did get to talk to the housing team. So the housing team doesn't just work on housing; they also work on a few other things too.
Yeah.
But they really do want some of this stuff in the game that we don't have. But remember, they have bosses to tell them what they're allowed to do and what they're not, what needs to be tabled and stuff. And they have other things that are a higher priority. So that's what I wish I could like have. I guess like the upper management who like puts priority on these things. I want housing to be a bigger priority to the devs.
But then does something else get tabled for that cause? And it's like, but maybe they underestimate the amount of people. I mean, they must have numbers for how many people are in houses or how many people buy houses. I mean, so they can't really. I mean, I guess they do.
I'd love to see analytics on how much housing mancers are spending on this game.
I feel like something that could maybe bring more emphasis on that housing needs to be more focused by devs and stuff is, I mean, podcasts, streams, they shed a light on what the players do, what they spend most of their time on and stuff. So if there are like 10 people playing PvE and only one person of those 10 people is doing housing, they're going to think, okay, housing's not that popular. We should focus more on PvE content, you know? But if there's more people streaming or podcasts or YouTube videos, more visible content being made doing housing, I feel like they will feel that needs to, be added to. That they need to emphasize it more. I
think definitely there's. I mean, even in our guild. I mean, I'm not. I mean, Rita who's in chat and who's agreeing with Ninja and talking about the items and moving from outside to inside and different bits like that, and that kind of guild hall stuff, which would be really nice to have. It's like there is a lot of people who are really interested in this, and I think there is a lot of people who don't really realize or understand the how intricate you can really get with this stuff. So like when we were talking about earlier about possible live streams and stuff that could show this stuff off, I've never really seen like, I mean, I haven't. I mean, obviously there've been Coco mentioned there was a stream, they've had the bits and bobs before, but nothing like regular. I don't know. I mean, whether or not regular would be good is another thing. Takes a lot of organization, but showcasing this stuff a little bit more might be quite nice. Although to be fair, they did have a massive the Somerset thing event where you could get the house for free. That was cool. I mean, that would have got a lot of people into housing, right? So there is that.
It did, yeah. The market for housing furnishings and materials skyrocketed, and a lot of people made bank with that.
Yeah, so, I mean,
I'm kind of at my time limit here. Did you have a?
That's okay. We're kind of wrapping up.
Question or something?
No. I mean, all I wanted to ask was is there anything that you guys want to add? Really, is there anything you want to quickly say? As a message, maybe to the devs or to players, or to if there's any advice or anything you wanted to mention real quick that you wanted to bring up, I guess.
I'd just like a little bit more interactivity with the housing team, the devs, with the player base. We don't get as much. I do like troll forums and stuff like that. There is a lot of people talking about housing on the forums, and a lot of people like putting in feedback and stuff. We don't see a lot of interactivity with the devs like PvP and PvE does.
Right.
There's a lot of unanswered questions, like the questions that we have asked before about guild halls or item limit and stuff. They've never really like directly said any direct response on.
Yeah, we get.
Forums.
We're working on it.
So I'd love to see more of that. That's just me. I'd love the housing community to get just as much love as those the group, the dungeon and trials teams and the PvP players do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, interactivity, not just with that, but also with some furniture, like being able to maybe actually use a bed and, have your character go on the bed and sleep, or like slip under the covers. But also, just do everything
You want
that's
the immersion.
mentioned on the podcast.
You want the RP things, don't you? Yeah, I see where now Luna is.
Things, yes.
Yep, she does. I see. Okay.
To the community, to the people listening and people watching this in the future, don't just come to my stream. Housing and inspiration comes from lots of sources. Be part of the community. Go to Coco's, go to Loonaromi's, find more housing masters. There's lots and lots of us streaming. Check out YouTube content, etc., so on and so forth. Get involved. Find a housing specific guild, which is going to be a lot easier come elsewhere. Guild Finder is going to be terribly useful for such things. Get involved, because not only are you going to learn from us, we're going to learn from you, and together we make better stuff.
There you go.
And don't be afraid to ask questions. I've had people in my stream that they feel bad for asking questions about basics and stuff, or asking me how I made something. We are never annoyed by y'all asking how we did something or something. That's what we're passionate about. We want to talk about it. We want you to ask
the best way to engage us.
Yeah,
definitely.
Ask me how I made the toilet. It's hilarious.
Okay, how did you? No, sorry. I'll come into your stream and ask you.
My biggest piece of advice for designing your own house, I always like to give that out, is first and foremost, pick a theme. Because if you pick a theme, then everything else is easier to plan from there, including budget. Because you'll need to make a budget for anything that's larger than a very, very small home. But just pick a theme. Like, is it for, even if the theme is just, this is for my main tune, that's still a theme.
Mm-hmm.
Ninja, do you have time to answer Matty Gon's question in chat? Or do you need
favorite item was the question, correct?
Yeah, Magon says, my question from the beginning of the stream, and then we're going to end after this. It's a good way to end it. What is your favorite item to use when decorating, ease or use or whatever?
Right now, my most favorite item that we recently got, and is probably about to be trumped tomorrow, was the Merkmeyer filled bookcase stone. It inspired my favorite build in the Enchanted Snow Globe house, and made the area very cozy, filling it up with a lot of detail while only taking up one slot of item space.
Cool. Okay.
Definitely. It's a good one, yeah.
Or both of you, or like whoever wants to go. If your favorite item you like to go with, that you decorate with, just your favorite one.
If you know Luna, you go, because I have no idea.
I mean, there's a lot of items that I absolutely adore. One of my favorite items is definitely the Eleanor bookshelf. I love how warm it is. The filled one, the big filled one. And I think my most used one is probably the Breton sconces. That, the ones that you can, or the candelabras, the ones that are stood up on the floor. I use those probably in every single house. But
cool.
Favorite, there's just too many to pick from me.
Okay, if you had to pick one, just randomly, something you like. What's pretty, what's not pretty, what do you use to make the toilet? That could be your favorite one.
So, I can say, like, probably my most used is Clockwork Illuminator capsule, because that one illuminates a room very, very well without it being so bright that it washes everything out. That one's a really nice one. One of my hot tips for whenever your room is really low in lighting, but you don't want to have to put another lighting furnishing down, get a Clockwork Illuminator capsule, put it in a floor, ceiling, or wall that won't clip through another one, and voila, you have nice ambient warm light, kind of like an incandescent light bulb, and it gently lights up even a fairly large room. So I use that one a lot. That's how people always ask, how do I light my homes up really nicely? That's how.
So yeah,
And
you guys need to do that.
but favorite one, I tend to really love the Sijic stuff a lot because that's I love mermaids. I love water themed stuff. Sijic is the closest we've gotten to like water themed stuff, especially with the little bubbles that light up. Oh my god, I love it.
Awesome. I love it. Okay, cool. Good stuff. I like it. I don't have a favorite thing, so I won't answer that question. I don't like anything. But yeah, I think that is actually pretty much the podcast. I think we're going to end it there. Very quickly, I want to thank you, everyone in chat. Thank you very much for joining us on the podcast. It's very, very awesome to have you here.
Thank you, Jebro. I'm so like that.
Yeah, no worries at all. Like, thank you guys for coming on as well, completely. Just going around you guys. So, Coco, where can we find you? What are all the places? What is the names and the things?
Twitch, of course. You've had like the little links for our Twitches up. I'm on Twitch. I plan on a rollout plan where I'll stream more days, but right now it's Thursday and Friday morning. Okay. I'm also on Twitter a lot. That's where I'm most active.
So what's your Twitter handle? Just in case people can't be asked.
It's Coco Michelle 11.
Coco Michelle 11 at Coco Michelle 11. Same on Twitch and Twitter. Cool. Awesome. And you do the housing.
I'm on there a lot, and I'm also a high-ranking officer in Rangers Guild. That's Casual Rangers Guild, and I'm most active there. So in game, you can find me there, or the Discord is open to everybody, including non-PCNA players. We like meeting new players, giving advice out. So I'm also over there a lot.
Cool. Awesome. Again, thank you very much for coming on as well, Coco. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. My first podcast, too.
Nice. Awesome. Okay, Luna, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitch, Loonaromi, everywhere. I'm a lot on Twitter, and I'm trying to get a YouTube started, but it's a lot of work. And I also do art commissions, and I'm also in the process of building up a website. But I'm generally Loonaromi everywhere. I stream 4 days a week, Thursdays to Sundays every morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. And if you have any questions or you want to check out any of my other content I do anywhere else, you can find it on my Twitch page.
Nice. Awesome. And Ninja, and thank you very much as well, Luna. Luna came in last night. Like me and Coco went to a stream, and we're like, she's playing Sea Skylines. I was like, okay, can you come and join us on the podcast tomorrow? Yeah, excellent. Good stuff.
They broke me, guys.
So thank you very much. It is very appreciated. It was a very late notice as well. And Ninja Monkey as well. Where can we find you on all the things?
Twitter, YouTube, of course Twitch at NinjaMonkey0169. We haven't uploaded a whole lot of stuff on YouTube for the past 8-ish months. The new monitor has been difficult with our software. Once we raise the money for our laptop goal, which is coming up soon, we'll go back to putting content up there. We do house tours and informative things on the YouTube, but we're 7 days a week on Twitch if you want to come watch us live, 2 to 6 p.m. most days, Pacific Standard Time. Yep. And then we come back on at 10 and go till 2 in the morning. Fridays are Drunken Dungeons, a lot of fun, a lot of information on the panels underneath my Twitch stream. Please go read it all. And it's not actually my channel, it's the cat's channel. I just produce it.
Cat has featured much today. Okay, so I'm going to tell you where I am. I'm Jebro, but my channel is twitch.tv/JebroUnity. The same for Twitter, YouTube, and stuff now as well. Hopefully, you'll be able to find information for all of us in the description below. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're watching this on Twitch, and if you're watching this or listening to this on Spotify, iTunes. And everything else. Again, every 2 weeks, I aim to get this out every 2 weeks. If you've been listening or watching anywhere on the interwebs or you've downloaded this, thank you very much. And we will see you next time. Not sure, but happy Elsewhere launch things.
Happy Elsewhere.
Yeah.
Happy Elsewhere.
It is like literally happy Elsewhere. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon. Take care.